Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action. Hey everybody, what is up? We are here for the WrestleMania build-up.
I just spilt beer everywhere in the paddock to get live. Oh yeah. Got me Pirates beer.
That man needs to walk the plank.
There we go. I don't know if you can read it. I'm sorry, guys. I missed the fancy dress bit, but the hat is just falling apart. Unbelievable.
I might legit need some tissue. What a bit of chaos this is.
So yeah, a bit of a chaotic start to the show. But anyway, guys, welcome to Rebellious Noise's Pro Wrestling channel. We are here talking all things WrestleMania Night 1. Obviously, hello to everybody that is joining us, and yeah, hello to Scott, Rob, and Lucas. How are you guys all doing today?
Yeah, all good, man. All good.
It's nice to see that half of us made the effort. The other
I
two
just tried.
I think it's obviously shops don't fully open again until Monday, so yeah, I guess we could be forgiven for that, really. So yeah, WrestleMania boys, Night 1, eh?
Yeah, mate, excited. Yeah, it's like Christmas, but for wrestling fans.
We obviously know what the set's going to look like now. We know what's going to open the show. So it's just becoming a bit more real now. We get the WWE Universe back in live attendance. And it's just going to be, I think it's going to be a banging event.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
So, yeah. And so, obviously.
I've got some tissue, guys.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, we had to clean you up.
Save the day. Save the day. Thank you, my lovely assistant. What do they call them? Wenches?
Wench.
Thanks, wench.
I think if you say it loud enough, she'll probably come in and give you a right hook right around the head, mate.
With a wrench, probably.
Yeah.
A wrench on a wench.
So while we're here, we can talk briefly about the prediction things. As you can see, the prediction table currently has Scott and Rob at the top of the table in the battle for the Rebellious Noise trophy. There it is. Look at that. So yeah, and I think it's going to be really interesting because obviously WrestleMania, all the points are double bubble. And the obviously first match of WrestleMania we now know is going to be WWE title match, the Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre match. And I'm the only one out of all of us that's picked Drew to win this match. So we could be going in essentially after the first match. If I'm successful, I could be going in dead level with you two.
Well, I feel like I don't like that either. I feel like the whole... because we were saying, we thought this match would go first and the Bianca and Sasha one would go last. And that's why I picked the way. I guess that's the way why we picked that way. But I think that even more so now. I really do think that, you get the big pop of Drew coming out and then Bianca is the go home at the end of the night happy. But the thing that's put me off is we've been talking again all year about Drew, whether or not he needs that moment. And literally, this past week he hasn't stopped talking about that moment, so I'm like, oh no, it's a thing. Like they're running with it, and I'm now scared that Drew is gonna win it for that.
Yeah, I think, as I say, for me, I still think Drew may win it because I think it'll be a really good, it'll be a good thing for him to go into it with obviously that big moment, and obviously a big title change straight off the bat would be really nice, and obviously not just because obviously it'll give me the point, but yeah, I'm just obviously hoping that it all comes to fruition and that Drew becomes champion yet again.
Dan, I just realised you look more like one of the Los Matadors. That a pirate. Oh, there we go. Nobody said. When you got that bit hidden.
Arriba.
Ole.
Yeah.
It's more Ariba than
Arriba.
So,
yeah,
I was wondering if I put my hat further down, will it look like it's on Rob's head? But my hair's too messy to do.
Yeah,
that.
let me try and give you a bandana, Lucas. Let me get actually.
Oh, kill me.
This is so ridiculous, like so childish.
Yeah, shut up, Rob.
I don't know why we haven't done this more often.
We should actually get a thing where we can have.
Yeah, you can get one as well. Yeah.
Have I got one?
We should do wrestling related. Maybe I could jump. onto you or something, mate. A little swanton bomb or something, you know.
Bomb, he's one that's not on the card, isn't he?
Jeff Hardy. Yeah, true. No, Jeff Hardy.
A lot of omissions this year, isn't there, from the Mania card? I think there's a graphic going around with about 15 to 20 names from last year's WrestleMania that literally are nowhere to be seen on the card. It's mental, isn't it? What a difference.
I mean, obviously, we touched it on the main prediction show, but like the fact that they had those two usual WrestleMania matches, as in a title match and the Battle Royal not being on there, I mean, that's a lot of paydays gone right there, isn't it?
Yeah, I hope they obviously got compensated for that, because I'm guessing the match was meant to be on Mania. But I guess it's rather that way then. I guess there was a couple of occasions where the match has been bumped on the night, even, isn't it? You know, in recent years.
Yeah,
I think it was the Bellas, or just an 8-man.
Yeah, one of the match. Yeah, when there was on earlier Total Divas, I think the first episode.
Indeed, one of the first episodes. Yeah, they talked about obviously getting cut like literally on the night. Like, you know, you're ready to go, your gear's ready, you had your road agent notes already.
It's sad, isn't it?
You're told, no, you're getting cut, on the night, which is Raw. But obviously, I get at least this way they had the chance to obviously, and I know Dan, he did a review, obviously also on the channel, on the Smackdown, he did a review obviously of the WrestleMania Smackdown, as they were calling it. Don't let that catch on WWE.
Imagine next year, like they get used to that and do one every year and do a Raw, WrestleMania Raw every.
WrestleMania NXT and WrestleMania. The thing is, we're at the stage now where it's WrestleMania week, isn't it? Now, like they've turned it into that, because even if next year stays at one night for Mania to Takeover, it's still going to be. Once you have SmackDown, NXT, and Hall of Fame, it's still
I mean,
thing, isn't it?
You again, like touching on videos that Dan's done, the retrospective one where he did WrestleMania 23, talking about how the Mania experience changed since then, because it was Hall of Fame, Mania one night, and not even Raw back then, and then they added Raw, and then depending when SmackDown is, you know, what year it is, sometimes SmackDown's been a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Friday, and obviously now it's a Friday, and then now NXT's a Tuesday. I wonder if. Because remember when we last went, SmackDown was on a Tuesday, right? Because it was the day after Raw. I didn't like that. It doesn't, like, SmackDown after Mania is not a thing. Like, it's just not a thing for me. Raw after Mania, and I get they wanted to make it a thing, but now it's going to be NXT after Mania. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that's on the Tuesday now. So you're going to get, if you go, like, people that go next year, if they keep to somewhat of a regular schedule, as in they don't do 2 nights of Mania, you're probably going to go for Hall of Fame, NXT Takeover, and then Mania. Then SmackDown. So they're gonna have to start doing it from like Wednesday, Thursday to get a takeover in, and to get. It's just too much, man.
Unless they go back to Mania being one night on the Sunday, do the NXT on the Saturday, Hall of Fame on the Thursday.
No,
Friday.
Oh, you can't.
Friday
You
will be
can't do SmackDown, can you? Yeah. Mate.
Well, who knows? We might get Hall of Fame SmackDown next year then. The ones that they could be bothered to put onto the main Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we're not going to induct you. You're not going to get a speech. You're going to have one more match. One more match.
Well, no, I do think next year, because obviously next year being in Texas, I think it's got to be Taker next year headlining it for definite.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
I'd even be open to Taker being the sole entry next year, to be fair.
The only person?
Yeah. I think they're running out of people. I mean,
there were less on this year's one, weren't there?
I mean, they used a great Carly, and I mean, great to him for being a Hall of Famer. But did he really have a Hall of Fame worthy career? If that's the case, then
I mean it's the same way he didn't really have a world championship career, but he got it because, do you know what I mean? Like he's the attraction. So they were like, we'll use the attraction while we got him.
Mm.
Yeah.
And ironically, going back to my retrospect, WrestleMania 23, ironically, the two of the guys that were in a match together, Carly and Kane, they were actually both inducted in the same class. And it was actually really nice to see Kane go in as like the headliner as well for 2021. So, you know, I felt a bit sorry for him because it was obviously no one there to witness that, like the career that Kane's had. But you know, it's nice to see him there all the same.
The whole thing again. I've said it in our private chats, like, but I could do a whole mini series on how I think the Hall of Fame could be updated and made better. But this year was, it was so uncomfortable. Like the piped in fake things, like even the RVD was cringy. The Bellas one more match, like it's got to be natural, guys. Like, you know, like I'm not saying they wouldn't have got that. I do think they probably would have got that, and I have a sneaky suspicion that we might get this very kind. But yeah, I hated it. I hated so much of it. I felt bad for all the guys. Like you're doing your speech to cap off your career in front of no one. It was so uncomfortable, man. I hated it.
Yeah.
Especially where they cut them down so much as well. Like, I mean, no one wants to really sit through like half an hour, like 20-minute, half an hour speeches. But, you know, to cut it down, I think the Bellas were saying that they had initially done a speech. They were told about 10 to 15 minutes. So they did a 10 to 15-minute speech. And then I think it was like a day before they were like, oh yeah, by the way, actually we're cutting it down to like 3 to 5 minutes. It's like, how do you get to kind of thank everybody that you want to thank in 3 to 5 minutes?
Like,
and
I get the whole rambling thing and even the inductive thing and stuff. Like it needs to be trimmed. Don't get me wrong, but the way they did it was bad. And their last attempt at trimming it and changing it up was awful as well. Doing it in that ring with just a ring with no ropes. That was no wonder someone jumped the ring. You know what I mean? Like, it was stupid. It was such a bad idea.
I preferred the original way when they brought it back. I preferred that way, like having a separate venue for it and
in theaters, little theaters, isn't it?
Yeah, like going back to the one that I went to at 23, that was in the Fox Theatre. So it felt a lot more intimate because, like, obviously you go into like a big arena. It's like if you go into, say, an arena which holds like 15 or 20,000 for like a Raw or Smackdown, out of those 15 to 20,000, it'd be interesting to see how many of them people actually like stick around to go and watch the Hall of Fame. Whereas I think with the Hall of Fame, they could get away with running a smaller venue, even if they run like a small, like that 4,000 seat venue, and have like, even if they inflated the ticket prices for the Hall of Fame, you'd probably
make it feel exclusive again.
Yeah,
you need to feel exclusive. You need to dress up as well, mate. I hate going to the Hall of Fame and people in t-shirts. It drives me mad. Now you have to do it, like, because so obviously last time me and Dan went Mania, I gave up my Hall of Fame ticket because we went to the ROH New Japan show, right? And obviously we would have gone in t-shirts and that then because it was like nobody does the dress up thing anymore. But when I first went to the one at 25 and then the one at 29, it was dress up. When Dan went as well, it was dress up. Like everybody, like it was. Oh, how can you have all the people sitting down there, all the wrestlers wearing their dresses and their suits, and then everybody in the crowd wearing their bloody Finn Balor t-shirts? Like, not against Finn Balor, but just as an example, you know, they're kind of typical black wrestling t-shirt. It's like, and then they're in the like, no wonder that fan crap kind of fed into it. The stupid chants, the what chants, you know what I mean? Like, this is awesome type stupidness. Like, no wonder that crept in because it ended up being that kind of night. When back in the day, you went there in your suit and stuff, you know what I mean? It felt special to be there. And to be fair, the two I went to were in big venues. Like, they were in, I think the Izod Center for the one in Houston, and the other one was MSG, but it was MSG, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to go in a big venue, MSG's fine, and San Martino was getting inducted, so it still felt special. But other than that, like,
was it San Martino and Austin, the two headliners?
Yeah, Austin was the one I went to before, but yeah, I mean, to be going off tangent now, but to see San Martino and MSG for me was like, I have to, you know what I mean, seeing a man talk about it in that building. But yeah, it don't for me. The Hall of Fame don't feel special anymore. And last year, well, the last one they did made that even worse. That stupid little setup. And then this year's one, just the the fun.
I guess it's hard to kind of criticize this year's one too much because it is still a case of would they have done that if obviously we're not in the
Yeah.
But I don't understand why they couldn't have found another theatre to do it in.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. This actually goes on to the big ongoing problem with WWE. The presentation is too samey. They have the same, even before COVID times, they've had the same set
for Raw and SmackDown
for years. For every single show, it all looks the same. And don't get me wrong, they are, in my opinion, the best production in the world for wrestling. Like they look good. On the most part, when Kevin Dunn isn't, just being Kevin Dunn, I guess. On the most part, do you know what I mean? Like we can see the action that's going on, the moves. We see all the moves happening on time. We get good stuff like the instant replays. That's all fantastic. But it's just like it's so samey, and it's just screaming for like just a bit of differentness every now and again. And obviously, that's why I think last year they were obviously trialing the cinematic matches because it was like, well, the Performance Center is boring. Like it's boring. It's a small hall essentially. And fair enough, they've now changed that into the kind of new Thunderdome they got there, many with the fans involved and the little cage effects and stuff. But originally when we were starting out, it was just like an empty room, wasn't it? We're ringing it. And people, and these are WWE superstars were meant to be believed. And so fair enough, they then obviously escaped that and they did stuff like Five Funhouse and Boneyard match and all that other kind of stuff to make us kind of take out of it. But
they had the Money in the Bank thing, didn't they? Where they tried that at headquarters, but that was
exactly. Even to be fair, even the first few pandemic shows were exciting to be like, oh my gosh, look at Triple H and commentary. Do you know what I mean? Like all that was, oh look at the empty chairs. Oh this is freaky. Like,
WrestleMania in an empty arena was
like changing it up and that like is literally the key. They literally needed to change it up for the Hall of Fame. But you know what? Saying that again, going back to like 35, the last Mania we properly got a proper Mania. I wasn't a fan of that stage. I thought it was just, cool, big screen, looks cool. But, like, it weren't your usual WrestleMania one. No. This year's one, though. I know this ain't really, this is more of a, Friday 13th type deal. But still, it's the only one I can find. It might have been around my house from a few years ago, mate. But still, it is a Halloween product, yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to ask any more questions.
Do you think that they had this... They probably had this set from last year, so that's probably why they're thinking, 100%. You know what, we've got the stuff now, we've paid all this money for it, we've got it all, let's just go back
it's even the pirate theme. Place. Like last year's logo, like all the logos are pretty much the same, isn't it? Like last year's stuff, pretty much I was like, mate, that's so good. And I was so tempted to buy they had this really nice shirt, and I was so tempted to buy it because obviously everyone went reduced last year, and I was like, I'll just leave it. And now I regret it because now it is a thing, you know what I mean? But I mean, again, I was meant to be there last year, and obviously I was definitely not going this year. But I was meant to be there last year as well. So like this whole like change up in things and everything that's happened in the past year is just so surreal. And watching fans there tonight is going to be, and again, like being back to having the big, not just the big crowds, but like the production, like you were saying, you know what I mean? Like having the ship and. Oh man, like do you remember that year when the roller coaster got revealed and everybody was going mad and like they've got a roller coaster on the stage, you know what I mean? Like, this year feels like that for me. Whereas 35 was just look at my big TV, you know?
Yeah, I think having the fans back would be great though. But this is the thing that I'm kind of bittersweet this weekend because we're going to get hopefully 2 nights of a really fantastic show, and I think a lot of emotive. Sort of stuff will come out because with respect, like, it is the first time in over a year that some of the premier wrestlers in the world are facing each other. And back to obviously you using the set, actually, to be fair, they even recycled some of the storylines, really, because obviously Drew was challenging last year for the championship. He is this year. Rhea Ripley was obviously competing for the NXT championship last year against Charlotte in like a big kind of Mania kind of. Yeah,
but they didn't reuse that footage like we thought, though, have they? They haven't reused that footage.
Well, we'll see probably tonight.
Maybe tonight, though, yeah. Or whenever. Is that tonight's one?
Tomorrow is Rhea.
Tomorrow, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. You got the.
Yeah. So they use a lot of the same kind of things going in with him. But, it just feels a bit like it is almost like WrestleMania 36 Part 2, I guess, or the reboot.
And then tomorrow will be Part 3.
Yeah, it feels a bit like that. But, I'm really excited about the fans coming back. And I'm hoping. I'm really hoping that a few things have died out though with the fans. I'm hoping the Pop chant is dead.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
Now people would just be itching to do the watch out, mate. It's been a while.
I think how long do you reckon? How long do you reckon for the first CM Punk chant?
Oh, I want to hear at least one.
That's becoming the new what chant, I think now.
Is,
yeah,
it?
The CM Punk thing. But I think with the what chants, I think that would be that would just be so. That would have been so much worse if the Hall of Fame was in a venue, because Great Khali's speech, every single line, they would have just chanted what. So,
well, even
I mean,
thingamajig, Jushin Thunder Liger, like obviously spoken Japanese, he's like two sentences. I think that would have got what it probably two, because Americans like that, aren't they? It's just it's not English. So
yeah. By the way, though, it's cool to see him get inducted. Big fan of Liger. So and that match he had in NXT against Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze. Yeah. Man, that was so cool. And do you guys? This is a little one for us Brits who watched the Wrestling Channel back in the day.
Yeah.
On Sky.
Yeah.
And they used to have like little promo videos for certain wrestlers, and they had a Liger one, and man, such a cool song on it. But anyway, that's just a random little memory right there of Liger.
So let's get back into WrestleMania anyway, guys. We've got a comment in here from Matthew Ball saying, Full Virtual Fan Club featuring Lucas. That's right. It's actually the WrestleMania team, and Lucas just couldn't be bothered to buy anything. So that's pretty much all it is. I'm guessing you know Lucas, and if you do, then you'll know he's a cheapo. So
yeah, well,
obviously
I'll take Lucas next time there's a dress up opportunity. If you don't do it, mate, there's going to be severe consequences.
He's waiting for the sale at the pound shop. That's all it is.
Well, I would say with deduct points, but you ain't getting anything this year anyway. A Ninja Turtle, look at that. Who's the turtle? Me? Because I'm in green, or Rob? I guess he looks like a turtle.
Probably Rob. I'm guessing I'm Birchall. You're
Kazani. I'm Kazani, mate. I didn't even see that. Kazani. That's good. Mate, Kazani should have worked. Let's be honest.
I mean, to be fair,
I'm always willing to step up to the plate and take the gimmick.
Go into that comment. It's obviously definitely not Lucas buying that first round for definite. So yeah. So as we've said as well, WrestleMania this year, we are going to kick off with the same way last year ended, and that is with Drew McIntyre's music hitting, hopefully. But will we see the same outcome as the end of WrestleMania last year for the start of this one? We did touch on it very briefly. Is Drew McIntyre... I mean, you guys obviously don't think Drew's coming out of this as champion. I do. So,
like I said, I'm a bit more swayed than I was before, just because Drew has really amped up that whole, when the fans are back. So I'm a bit worried now, from prediction's sake at least, that he is winning it.
But then I suppose you can always get that back in the very next match. You're the only one, Scott, who's predicting that Seth Rollins is going to have a suit that's not from Boohoo Man when he comes down to the ring at WrestleMania to face Cesaro. I think this is going to be another one. How many swings is Cesaro going to do? That could even be a bonus point thing.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Do we do closest or only if you perfectly get it?
Perfectly get it, mate.
Okay, perfectly get it. So what's the current thing that he's trying to beat? 22, is it?
I think 22 was the last one. I reckon he's going to go for 37 because obviously WrestleMania 37.
Okay. All right. So you locking that in?
Yeah, go for it. Why not?
All right.
I don't know whether he's going to do it how many or how long.
Have you got your dice there, Dan?
Yeah.
All right, roll it to do who goes next. We'll do the pop-up in a minute. Let's
do the loaded dice now. So, Rob, you ready, yeah? Oh, no, it's Lucas. 3.
So how many revolutions that we're going for, yeah? How many revolutions? So, yeah. I'm not going to say the same as you. I think 37 is a bit high.
I think so. Dan, you went early there, mate.
It'll get a bit boring.
Too keen.
I think he might try for something like if it's in the record 22, he won't want to break it by just one, but that's boring. I think it'll be 20. I think 25. I think 25. I mean, that's a sensible number. People can count to that number. It's a nice kind of 5.
You can go for the same number, by the way.
Well, I was going to say 26.
I don't think that it will be.
Okay.
So 25 is my pick.
25. So Rob, you're saying 26?
I reckon, because it's not too far away from the number and it's not too close to it. I was on the same mindset of Lucas, that Funny that we have the same mindset of numbers as we did not getting the costume.
And me and Dan, who put the effort in, we're both going to the 30s because we think Cesaro's putting the effort in there as well. I'm going to 30 because I think you want to get a nice round number.
Oh, same thing as me, but you went a bit higher.
Yeah. So I think, 26 is a weird one, Rob. Because that sounds like he gives up. I think he's aiming for something.
I'm a weird guy, so why not? I mean, I'm wearing a winter mask, crying out loud.
True.
I guess Rob's allowing for, Cesaro is almost perfect, but it could be a slight botch, maybe, like where he has to put.
Yeah, it could go wrong. Yeah, they might aim for 30 and get 26.
If he was aiming for 30 and he could end up at like 20, 27. So
yeah.
Maybe
I'm gonna say
Cesaro gets dizzy. Maybe that's the option.
That's him.
But I don't know. I mean, it always baffles my mind. How does he not get dizzy? He just does it and then carries on.
Yeah, I mean, he does. He never comes out of it like shaking his. Well, does he? Well, he doesn't seem like it affects him much, does it? And I think quite.
I mean, like that weird thing with his neck to kind of thing. I think he.
Oh yeah.
He snaps out of it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no, I think there's like, I guess, for people because there's like.
Did anyone catch that? Or is it just me? I can't hear you at all.
You went funny then.
Hey, mate.
Yeah, I think you're a bit delayed. Yeah. Talk slowly. Let's do the alphabet and let's see where you cut.
I
think you're back.
Okay. Wow.
I think he's getting ready for the next match with Braun.
But yeah, look, I'm looking forward to this. But yeah, I think I'm happy. I think I picked Seth Rollins on our predictions. I think I'm still going to be correct. Seth Rollins, he's had quite a good Mania track record, isn't he? Beating Triple H, beating Brock Lesnar. Winning the triple threat that also involved Brock Lesnar at 31. He's won a couple of the Shield as well. They won tags. So he is kind of all over the place. He's won quite a lot of matches at Mania. And I don't think it's going to change. So we shall see. But I do think this might be one where the fans might not like it if he wins, though.
What's his suit going to be like? Is he going to have some pirate-themed suit backstage?
You think he's going to? Yeah, he won't come out with the suit, will he? I think he'll have to wear.
Will he come out with a peg leg?
I think Becky will probably bring it and they'll whack him with it.
Did you see her tweet, by the way?
Yeah.
Have you seen people going really mad into that as well? So they were saying obviously because it showed the back of her, so it was like the back, Becky's back, and then the thing with the night one. Then apparently they were reading into the fact of like the number and the stuff on the back of the shirt related to some like the 53rd line of a song or something was.
That's just rubbish. Like
you know when you get people go deep into it, it's like if she. It
never is either. It never goes that far.
No. And apparently, so Stephanie actually came out and said that Becky had actually pitched to her that as soon as she'd had the baby, she said, get someone to come to the hospital once I've just had the baby and attack me. And that can be like kind of bringing it, setting up a story for when I come back.
Jesus.
That would have been quite the storyline.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, someone would have got a mega heel kind of rub there. Shayna would have been perfect for it, but they don't want to do that.
Just go and like bite her in the neck again or something.
Yeah. Could you imagine Shayna outside the hospital just waiting to get in, get access, and they're like, she's like a pit bull, you know what I mean? Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah, I think that's probably a bit too.
Too deep. Yeah, come on, mate. There's a few more hours to go, mate.
Keeping you up here, mate.
Big show on tonight, mate.
Do you know what? Speaking of, before we move on, Dan, what did you do about your WrestleMania nap? Because as a pay-per-view, you normally nap before, right?
Yeah, I've not. I'm probably gonna once we finish up here, I'm gonna go and try and get a bit of shut eye, and then get up all fresh faced and be like, yeah, here we go, let's do this.
What's the next match then? Is it Shane and Braun?
So the next one is Braun versus Shane. And I'm guessing we're not going to get Shane McMahon jumping off the pirate ship because he is going to be locked inside a steel cage. It also means, I guess, we're not going to get the train noise when Braun Strowman runs around the ring anymore.
Oh, what a shame. Yeah, I reckon we probably will, to be honest. But there'll be a train go straight through the pirate ship.
Yeah. Be a crash landing. So yeah, with this one, I think we're all kind of unanimous, really, that it's going to be a Braun Strowman win. I mean, I don't know, would anyone change their mind from it, or
no?
Is everyone's kind of
nothing's really happened, is it?
Kind of the same, I guess. So I guess we could just gloss over that one, really. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say again though, like to reiterate what we said the other day. It's the gimmick that's got me rather than the match. You know?
Yeah, and it's surprising, as we were saying before, like 35 years, the last steel cage match at WrestleMania. It's like obviously we've seen like iterations of it with Hell in a Cell and stuff, but
yeah.
And we said, it's probably going to. It does look like it's going to be like the new style because obviously what they showed on Raw. So. Yeah, and then talking of something they showed on Raw, they set up the next match, which was the Tag Team Turmoil match. The winners of this match will get a shot at the Women's Tag Team Champions on night 2 of WrestleMania. So if we go back, the teams are confirmed: Naomi and Lana, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, the Riot Squad, Natalya and Tamina. It also looked like on SmackDown that they were teasing Billie Kay and Carmella as a tag team, but we've not predicted the outcome for this one. So do we think it's going to be one of the 4 teams that's officially announced? Do we think it's going to be a different team, or do we just not care?
Are we doing this is an actual predictions, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yes, we've not predicted this one at all.
Okay, so for this, guys, I bought this pirate thingy, my bob. We're going to pop him up. We're going to pick colours, basically. We're going to pop him up, and then whoever it pops on, you're going first, basically.
I think we should go, because if you look at it, so you're wearing green, I'm wearing red, Rob's wearing blue.
Beautiful.
So Lucas, sorry mate,
Lucas, your room looks a little yellow. Oh, you got the It poster, yellow rain jacket. There we go. Right, beautiful.
You've got a bit of jaundice, so don't.
But I guess to start it though, we still need the. I just clock myself every time I get a screen. I'm like, what am I doing? This is my life. Dan, could you roll the dice so we at least pick who goes first as far as the swords go?
Yeah, sure. It is number 4, as always, Rob.
Rob knew that. Look, he's a horseman back there. Rob, so which one are you? You're blue, right?
I am, yeah.
You're blue, okay.
If it goes off first, this is definitely rigged.
Robbie boy? Yeah, I've never seen that. All right, I'm going to go at the side first because I don't know how many we're going to get visually. And I did this off camera testing it, guys, and it scared the crap out of me. So, Dan, you're next, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Red, yeah? You got the red.
Yeah. Bang!
Don't do that.
Oh, no.
Don't do that. Seriously. All right. Green for me.
Yeah. Oh.
Lucas, you got the yellow. Where do you want to go? Want to go round the back?
Yeah, go on the back.
This is on the edge of your seat stuff, this, isn't it?
Oh, back to who is it? Rob, isn't it? Blue.
He's like Alexa Bliss with the old Jack in the Box thing.
Oh, that is getting close now. I'm getting quite scared. Dan's next with a red. What's this for again? Oh, yeah, predictions. Oh, it's going to be me. It's going to be me. It better not be me.
It'd be funny if it malfunctions, just don't work.
It is
Mate, this is the longest one ever. I don't think it's in properly. Hold on. Maybe it's not in properly. Is it? Hey, come on now. This is a family show.
I'm sorry.
That was Lucas. Rob.
So, for those of you that have just tuned in, basically we are deciding who is going to actually be predicting first for the women's tag team tournament.
Maybe I didn't do it properly. Wait. I might have to put them all in and then realise I didn't set it up properly. Right,
it's so tense though, each one that you do.
I don't think it's set up. I really
how many have you got left?
Like 6?
Like 3 or 4.
Have you popped it down properly?
I was green, so next one's Lucas. I don't think I did, you know. I don't think I did. Right. Rob?
Yeah, mate.
I didn't set this up properly.
He's too scared that it's going to pop up, isn't it?
All right. Oh, I didn't do it. This is really right, boys. You
I do again.
It is set up, Rob. I don't get that. It didn't work. Poundland. I want a refund.
Lucas, who's their chief executive, put him in touch. We know how you like to get refunds on stuff.
All right, let's try that again. We'll try one more time. All right.
Just so you know, Wikipedia says that Billy Kay and Carmella are a part of the match.
Is it on WWE?
I know
Yeah,
it's
well,
not a reliable source, but
I mean, they are going to be like they definitely are. Like they definitely will because of that graphic and the way.
Which is infuriating because remember Billy Kay had a tag team partner.
Oh, don't get me started. You know that breaks my heart
Yeah.
every time.
Rose was a tag team partner, didn't she?
Iconically, they won the tag titles at the WrestleMania that we were at.
It goes to show that it doesn't matter
This
what
don't
you
work.
do this WrestleMania next year. It doesn't. It just doesn't matter. We're at the point now where so Rob.
Keep talking, boys.
But then when you look at that one as well, so you've got obviously Tamina, who's now teaming with Natalya.
Yeah.
At 35, you had Natalya teaming with Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
Tamina teaming with Nia Jax.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call my pirate wench back. Hold on.
And Wikipedia apparently says Rob is Rey Mysterio.
Can neither confirm nor deny that.
He wishes.
Yeah.
Had Rey Mysterio a WrestleMania match since he returned?
We can just predict this one like normal, boys, and then we'll move on.
Hopefully that one will work tomorrow.
So let's roll the dice for this one.
Right, Rob, do you want to just go now or do you want me to roll the dice properly?
Roll it and we'll see what happens.
Is it Rob?
What is this show becoming? Wow. Is it 4 again?
Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, was you ready?
I'm going to keep up with Kat. This is not really how I speak to my girlfriend. I'm just doing it for the pirate. Hey, wench. I'm trying to keep him with a theme. Could you help me, please, wench? How does that work?
I don't think
She figured it out earlier.
This is airing.
This is a kid's toy, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Could you please punch him in the head?
It didn't work. It didn't pop. What's it supposed to feel like?
It just goes in.
It didn't work.
You put all the knives in.
I put them all in, yeah. And they're not knives, they're swords.
Sword.
Do you want to get a few testers over there off camera, guys?
Did you put it in properly? Is the big
Hey,
question.
come on now. I told you. It's a family show. Don't let me stab you. Stab you next time.
Go on then.
And Rob as well for that one earlier. All right. Right, what are we doing? Rob, you're going first. Come on. Don't get out of this. Come on.
All right. See, I think it makes sense for if it's going to be someone that they're. I don't know. It's really hard. I feel like if they're going to put someone, there's no one there really other than the Riot Squad that should go for this title. As much as I'm annoyed that they've been put back together and that disbanded the Iconics, I want a tag team to actually win the titles. I don't want anyone else. I'd rather a proper tag team. So I'm going Riot Squad.
Riot Squad. So, see, now I come to the awkward position of if I think it's a team that's not necessarily announced for the match.
Oh, bonus point.
Does it go into a bonus point thing? And,
See, I'm thinking the same thing as well. So,
as we're doing double bubble, does it mean that you're risking 2 points, or does it mean that you're still only?
No, I think just the one. I think just the one for bonus points.
I'm sorry. I'm just.
Yeah, what's me?
Oh,
sorry. That tickled me. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so my thoughts for this match. So initially I was thinking it's going to be the team that's been announced last, so Carmella and Billy Kay. But part of me thinks that although they're being announced as a team, that they're not actually going to be a team in the match. So possibly they could bring in someone else to team with Billy Kay. So potentially like a Bayley Or even, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a certain Peyton Royce teaming up.
I was going to say, is she already in a match? I've lost count of who's in this match and who's not.
Nah.
Yes,
that'd be nice.
Nah. I mean, I think for me, like Rob was saying, it'd be nice to see an actual tag team prevail in it. But I think the way that booking has gone, I think if I'm going to go strategically or thinking of what's been going on booking wise, I would probably lean more towards Naomi and Lana for the whole thing of obviously Nia Jax putting Lana through the tables. What a great way to actually get her revenge than Lana winning this match and then going on and beating Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania and capturing the tag team titles. So I think I'm going to lock in Naomi and Lana to win.
Okay. Bro, who did you say?
I said the Riot Squad.
Yeah, they are the only tag team. Okay. For me...
Excuse me, Naomi and Lana have matching gear.
Oh, yeah, true. And they are a team on TikTok. For me...
You're gonna say Mae Young and Moolah, aren't you?
No. You can look, but you can't touch.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
The Bellas, right? WrestleMania moment. They're coming out last. The only thing that throws me off is that they still haven't gone with the Billy Kay thing, and that probably is going to be a surprise. And 2 surprises, I'm not really sure. But gauntlet matches, like, when does it end? Like, they haven't said a certain amount of teams, have they? No. So I think it's going to be the Bellas. They're going to win tonight, but they won't win tomorrow.
So you're risking a bonus point then, as they're not officially in the match.
Bonus me up, baby. Yeah, I'm going bonus point. Because, and they piped in the one more match, didn't they? So
essentially, if they're not in the match, then technically you could lose a point, yeah? That's going to be it's going to be risky.
Can I just say that if that doesn't happen and you lose a point and then I win by 1 point, are you going to kick yourself?
Yeah, of course. But actually, saying that, if they win, everybody else, every other prediction, you get a win, you get 2 points. So maybe it should be double bubble. But then I'm scared of losing 2 points, so I don't know about that. Now keep it a 1.
We got Matt again in the comments. WWE have always booked Naomi favourably. So, yeah, it's in agreement with me. So.
Sorry, I was laughing at the other comment.
Right, it's the Bellas, right? Which me, dude.
Definitely ain't me. I'm too fat, so it rules me out. The other 2 couldn't be bothered.
I think they replaced anyway. Just saying.
No,
he shouldn't be replaced, in my opinion.
Yeah, by Paul Burchill.
Paul Burchill. Give him a cameo at Mania. He deserves it.
We need it.
I reckon. I'm surprised nobody's mentioned Kairi Sane as an option.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Like, you think last year, but then she'd have to be back, and I don't think she will be. So. Yeah, I think it's a Bellas. Go on, Lucas.
So yeah, that's the thing. It's WWE. So there's a gauntlet match, which means 1 or 2 things. A surprise team is winning. So what you're on to, or it's just not going to make sense. And I think that while they might go for a surprise team, I can't be certain at this point what the surprise team would be. Like, will it be the Iconics? You know, if you have to chance that up, like, I think that's very possible because they are both active full-time wrestlers on in the books, and they would both be kind of at Mania. Is the Bella Twins again quite likely, but not as likely because again, with them not both being full-time wrestlers at the moment, obviously only on Legends deals. You know, and I don't know, like, the Bellas are the people that you would announce before, though. You know, but then I guess if they have sold the tickets, they might be thinking that. I guess if they sold the tickets already, it's like, well, it's a bonus them being here. And then obviously you got the fact that Bayley is not on the card, and that's just really weird. Really odd. Nor is Charlotte Flair, and nor is Becky Lynch, which I think is probably the first time in however many years this has existed, really, that we're only getting 1 of the 4 horsewomen.
Yeah, it's got to be sent to do with Charlotte at some point, I think.
You need to listen to Matt, mate.
What a weird team. That'd be so weird.
The problem with that as a team
I could see Becky and Charlotte though. Because Becky did that whole night one thing.
Or even Bayley and Becky.
But Bayley's a heel though. I mean, it's a one night Mania thing though, isn't it? So maybe.
But we don't know what alignment Becky's going to come back in.
Oh, she's got to come back. Like when you come back, a face even, you got to come back as a face, didn't you? Except for Seth, weirdly, you didn't, ironically.
The thing is though, this is a bit like the Nicholas tag match from Mania 34.
No, there's nothing like the Nicholas tag match, mate. Don't ever compare anything of worth to that.
In terms of the surprise element, we all went into that with big things.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Things to be Kurt Angle. Think it's going to be whoever it was going to be, and it ended up being Nicholas. And you know, less said about that, the better.
Yeah, sometimes they make really bad decisions, don't they?
So it's a case of, is it awful or is it just amazing? And I
think it has to be amazing, surely. Sorry, I'm influencing you. I've got my thing set in. Go on, mate. Yeah, but you're no threat to me in the table, mate. I don't care. I'll help you out.
Unreal.
I'm getting cocky now, boys. It's gonna be right here.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, it's either amazing or awful. There's, you know, and I can't decide which way they're going with it because, again, this match was only announced on Monday. So it's not like because I think like when they did the Nicholas tag match thing, that was built up for a few weeks at least. Of Braun saying, you know, Braun not finding a partner. They made quite a big deal out of it, didn't they? About Braun having a tag team partner, you know, for a few weeks. And because this one's literally been a case of like, well, okay, we're having a match for having the sake of having a match and the thing.
Yeah.
It just begs the question, like, have they got a big surprise in mind for it? But again, they could secure the big surprise last week, couldn't they? The Hall of Fame was filmed last week. They could have had the conversation with the Bellas last week and said, "Do you want to come in and do WrestleMania?" Places, the Bellas. No, I don't know. I don't think you can bring the Bellas back and have them lose.
I think they win and lose the next night.
Yeah, they can do it that way.
Yeah.
You can't bring the Bellas back. It's too much. It's too big a team.
Or a better option is that.
Oh man. Look. So
yeah. Thank you guys for your comments, by the way. Yeah,
because I can't decide whether it's going to be amazing or awful. I'm going to play it safe and stick with Dan and agree that Lana and Naomi will win because there is at least a storyline point to that happening, and I'll be happy. And that way, to be fair, I'd be really happy if it's an amazing surprise that the Bellas come back, as we spoke about before on this channel, and hopefully Dan and I will get a chance to sit down and talk about the women's tag belts very soon because it is a pressing issue, and it seems to be obviously with the NXT tag belts as well. It seems to be like a really big kind of focus of, and the Impact Wrestling tag women's tag belts as well. It seems to be a real focus now in wrestling with women's tag division.
I genuinely didn't know they had Impact women's tag titles until you just said that. So thanks for letting me know, mate.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, instantly Jazz came out of retirement.
How long's that been a thing?
I think they're just starting up now, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But they were there before, weren't they? Had them before, didn't they? And the last team.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, because
Eric Young was one of the tag champions.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, way before WWE. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
with ODB for about 400 days odd. But they brought them back now, and they managed to talk Jazz out of retirement. You know, for them because Jazz was interested in. A lot of the women have spoken about being interested in the women being women's tag team champions. But I guess obviously, if you was a woman pretty much before 2 years ago, this was not an option for you. You know, you were obviously the Divas champion, the women's champion for your brand, and that was literally it. But now we're in an era where the women's tag belts exist, not just on the main roster, but on the NXT roster too. You know, as well as obviously NXT women's belts and that. You know, how many championships are the women now? And also there's female equivalents to obviously the Hell in a Cell, Royal Rumble matches. You know,
I mean, me and Tom were talking about this actually on the Talking Beans like retrospective. We were looking back on 5 years for WrestleMania 32. So if you haven't seen that, check it out, guys. Eventually, when you're done with this one, of course. And we were talking about how like that was the first time they brought out the new women's title, and it was like,
was that when Lita presented?
Yeah, like the Divas.
Because Charlotte went into it as Divas champion and then left as women's champion.
And it's like since then they've added on all these titles, and the only thing I said that could be missing, and I don't think they should do it at the moment because of the way they book, but is a mid-card women's title. You know, like a mid-card, like an IC title for women. But I think that they don't book the tag titles enough, like you kind of touched on there. So they shouldn't do it just yet, but they definitely could. You know, the women themselves deserve that. They could tell that story. It's just whether or not WWE are willing to tell that story.
Yeah, they don't like tag teams, do they? They don't like male tag teams, and they don't like female tag teams. Could be splitting them up and then putting them back with different tag team partners. I disagree that Charlotte's overbooked. She's just very good. This is the problem. She's just very good.
I think she's caught in between two. You know, I think both things are true. Kind of like at Roman. Like Roman, again, is where I'm plugging that video again. But 5 years ago, me and Tom were saying he's great. He just needs to be a cocky heel, and like that's and it's worked. So like he's always been great. I've always liked Roman. Roman in the Shield, I loved. But Rowan being new John Cena, I didn't like. You know what I mean? So it's like I think both things can be true with Charlotte. Like she is amazingly talented, but kind of like what we were talking about a little while ago about Edge having all those title runs because of the 2 world titles. Charlotte's the same. She's got a crazy amount of women's title runs that she wouldn't have got before, and maybe would have got a few less if she wasn't called Flair. Maybe, but that's not saying she's not talented enough to have them in the first place. She is genuinely, I think it's over the top when Ric Flair calls her the greatest of all time, but she is genuinely one of the best. You know, so she's up there. She's in that conversation. So to say she don't deserve things is too much, but at the same time, she probably has got that little bit more than she might have otherwise. So look at Sasha Banks. They are probably on par with each other. And Sasha Banks has been the let's take the title back off her kind of girl, you know, which has been a shame.
I disagree with that massively.
No, I think if they give them time, then pretty much most of them will be able to on that roster, I think. But yeah, so just like getting back obviously to the WrestleMania thing. So I think we're all locked in pretty much on who we think's going over in the tag team turmoil match. The next match actually started out as a singles match, and we predicted this when it was a singles match. But as we did mention, it was likely that it was going to turn into this match. Bad Bunny teaming with Damian Priest to take on Miz and John Morrison. All of us said Bad Bunny. Are we all pretty much going to stick with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest?
I think we all said, either singles or tag is the same thing, in it. The celeb's going to get his hand raised. And he's done a lot lately. So fair play to the boy.
Yeah. And we may as well just, while we're here, stick with tag teams and go tag team titles, which is obviously AJ and Omos versus the New Day. It was nice to see actually at the Hall of Fame ceremony with the New Day that they were that they all had the same suits on, even though Big E is on a different brand. He still had like the same suit on as the other New Day guys as well. So that was just a nice touch. So, and obviously talking about Hall of Fame, we get obviously Titus going in the Hall of Fame will be hosting WrestleMania along with Hulk Hogan as well this weekend. So that will be
interesting to see how they do that. I mean, obviously, we're now assuming that obviously Drew's music's the first music hitting. Obviously, in previous years when the host has come out, it's been the first music.
I still think that will be the case, though.
We still think Hogan's coming out first.
Yeah, I do. I think Drew will be the first match, but I think Hogan and Titus are coming first. Whistle.
Don't they usually have the not the anthem? They always do America the Beautiful, don't they, at Mania?
Yeah.
The Baby Rex, haven't they, performing?
They have indeed.
Which makes me feel really old because she's like a really young artist. Usually they have like it's always someone current, isn't they? Usually use and as obviously as I get older,
or classic.
The current all classic. Yeah, there's no like they would obviously like Aretha Franklin do 23.
Yeah, she did the one I was at. I was like, damn, this is good.
That's good, man. I was thinking I heard the song. What was that one? I'm Coming Home. Remember that WrestleMania 29. This is what's good about Mania as well. Like, if you get to go, like, I literally saw a P Diddy concert. Yeah, cool, man. Like, cool. I got to see a Diddy concert, and when I went to 25, it was Kid Rock, which is cool. Like, he's got some tunes, you know, bar with that bar. Anyway, but yeah, like, I like it when I know some people are indifferent about the whole celeb involvement and music stuff, but for me, I like it, man. Like, it's part of the ticket, and if you're watching at home, go to the toilet, get a snack, you know. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, no one's forcing you to watch it. Like,
exactly.
I think, look, it's WrestleMania. They've had celebrities involvement since the first ones. Obviously, I've been doing, the Mania main event reviews, you know, from my own page and that. And, like, going back and you see the amount of celebrities that have been involved in WrestleMania, it's not a new thing.
Yeah.
It's not like they just brought Bad Bunny in this year. They had Mr. T in the first WrestleMania main event, you know, and technically that one of the second main events as well, you know, involved Mr. T. He had 2 matches for them. You know, they've had so many people, like, you know, Lawrence Taylor, the footballer, WrestleMania 11, he main event at WrestleMania, against Bam Bam Bigelow. They've had
Donald Trump.
Yeah, Snooki, they had Trump involved in a very big storyline, wasn't it? To be fair,
yeah.
Even things like Regis, you know, backstage interviews and stuff like that. You know,
Maria Menounos had a match.
Yeah.
I think one of the funniest ones was Rob Gronkowski when the security guard wouldn't let him over the barricade.
The first time he was at Mania. You have to think that we're talking about celebrity here. He's had more Mania appearances than some people that have worked for the company full time. You know, he obviously appeared in the Battle Royal, wasn't it?
And then you had
Kazani, who was mentioned earlier. So.
And you had the Ronda Rousey thing as well, like when she was like not associated with WWE at that 31. Time, you know. And that was strange because, like, looking back on that, and you see, like, she's standing at ringside and she's got Shayna Baszler with her, and it's like, who would have thought, you know, Shayna Baszler like would be coming down, you know, probably one of the best NXT women's champions that they've had. So. You know, and subject of women's champions, we now know that the women's championship for SmackDown is actually going to main event this show. I think it's an amazing achievement for these two. And they said it's the first time that 2 African-American women are actually headlining WrestleMania together. So it's an incredible achievement for the 2 of them. I think it's especially Sasha, the way that Sasha's been like throughout the whole pandemic era, she has been just superb. I mean, I do feel a little bit sorry for Bayley because I feel like if you'd have said to me sort of November, December time, what will the main event of WrestleMania be? I would have probably said women's title would be Sasha and Bayley. But I'm not disappointed at all that this is Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. And, you know, I think this deservedly is going on in the main event slot. You know, I think it's either going to be a women's title or the WWE title. And, you know, I think me and Lucas were talking about it the other day. It's one of the most frustrating things when the Royal Rumble winner, because it's announced as the Royal Rumble winner gets a main event match at WrestleMania. And then they're just thrown like the WrestleMania I went to, 23, Undertaker and Batista. I think it was Undertaker, had won the Rumble that year. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's Taker that won the Rumble, but yet he's in the middle of the card. It's like, just reword it to the Royal Rumble winner gets a championship match at WrestleMania rather than a main event match, because you expect them to get the main event slot. And, you know, rightfully this year, both of the Royal Rumble winners have got the main event slots at WrestleMania.
Maybe.
So
we don't have a night 2 yet. They haven't announced it.
Yeah, I guess they've lucked out there having 2, though, haven't they? 2 nights, like.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see, like, when they do go back to the one night thing, how they're actually gonna, like, if they go back to the one night thing, which I'm pretty sure they will, how they're actually gonna do it, and if they do, like, reword it as just like a title opportunity at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but like you say, all the way back at 23, they didn't bother.
But I mean, even though, like, even if you
titles, that's the problem.
Or even if you look at NXT, like, you can go back and check. I did a Lay the Smackdown on NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. They had the co-main events there, which was the unsanctioned match and the NXT title match. It's like, okay, so technically one of them's the main event, because to me the main event is always the match that goes on last.
Yeah, so,
but you know, I always think that it should be your main title. I think it should always be.
I think it's tricky because, again, going back to, obviously, you know, I'm up to now. I'm up to actually my reviews. I'm up to May 29. So obviously, I've just
need to hurry up, mate. You ain't got much time left till Mania starts.
I've just passed the Cena and Rock 28 match, which obviously was the main event without the championship. But it's like, do you tell a match like that go on in the mid card because we've got to put the Rumble winner, who that year was Sheamus?
Yeah, I think there's special occasions. You know, it's the same as 25. Like, everybody looks back now, going, "Did we really need that title match going on last instead of Undertaker, Shawn Michaels?"
I think it was 18. I think it should have been. But then, Rock Hogan should have main evented 18.
You might not know at the time. It's going to be one of the greatest matches of all time. So, but then again, you should know Taker HBK is going to be pretty decent. You know, so
yeah, it's tricky because I guess, like, I think it's about how they see it. Is it's like, well, it's still a main event match, which if it's for the WWE Championship. And I guess while maybe the intent, I do think as we're going to get onto tomorrow, really, when it comes to tomorrow's kind of review or whatever, about night 2. So the discussion for night 2, basically, whatever that may be. Like, I think that is where we're getting into a bit like, well, this story definitely changed in terms of from when it started as an idea for Edge to win the Rumble to where we are now. And it's a case of here has this story of Bianca Belair, like they feel that it's now worthy of being like the main event when maybe they didn't before. But I think this one again is of convenience. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of this match. You know, I think the championship should main event, but I don't think the story has been really the best. If we're being deadly honest, like between the two.
I've been massively let down by it.
Yeah, but I think in terms of it's a lot of factors working into it. It just makes better sense for obviously Drew McIntyre's music to be the first music in front of the crowd, because Bianca Belair has been on the main roster for 6 months, and there's just that chance that some of the people attending WrestleMania may not really know who she is in a nice possible way. Like,
saying that, like, the match can get them invested as well. Like, her winning the title, which is obviously what I think is going to happen, will get them invested. Whereas you're right, like, Drew's music will get people invested at the start. You know, like, there's a lot of people that, don't get me wrong, as soon as they hear Bianca's song, they're going to go mad. You know, but I think that way round is probably the best way to do it.
Well, yeah, of course. Like, she's got her fans, obviously. Like, I'm not saying she's going to get night crickets, but I think out of the two, if you're going out of the two, Drew McIntyre and Bianca Belair, and if you were to ask 100 wrestling fans in the street, which one do you know? I think Drew wins that poll. And I think that's how they're thinking.
At the moment, yeah.
More people know Drew. He's been the face of the company basically for a year, which is Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair only really appearing in the last 6 months. Only really a push in the last 3 months, to be fair.
And only really built this story in the last 2 weeks. So, that stupid tag team crap they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
They do love to throw that in, don't they? So, I mean, with this one, so I know me, Scott, and Lucas all went with Bianca. Rob, you went with Sasha. Do you think that they're going to put Sasha... Now, knowing now that this is the main event, would anyone's predictions have changed?
No, I predicted it thinking that way, basically.
Yeah, so I think I'm in 2 minds still. Obviously, I'm going to stick with Sasha winning.
You've got it. It's locked in, mate.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like, I would... Like, if we had the option to change, I would still stick with Sasha. However... It's only because I can't see, if they're going to main event, I can't see them letting them go home irritated and frustrated that Bianca didn't win. However, I still think that if they could do that because of the Money in a Bank thing, like, I still think it's an option. So I'm really hoping that Sasha wins, just so I get the points. But then if Bianca Belair wins, then obviously great, I'm happy. You know, like, I do want her to win, but my points are more important, and I think story-wise,
so
they can build this a bit more.
Recap them. What did everyone actually say then? So I said Bianca.
So yeah, Scott. So me, Scott, and Lucas all said Bianca Belair. Rob said Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
For this one.
Okay.
So it's interesting because Rob, you're by yourself with this one. So if he was to get that point, that could be quite crucial for you two.
But then if you look at it throughout the whole show, so the opening match, Scott. I'm the only one that's gone different, which is with Drew McIntyre. Then the Cesaro Seth Rollins match, Scott's gone different with Seth. We all say Braun Strowman. With the addition of the tag match, obviously me and Lucas have said Naomi and Lana, and then Rob and Scott have both said different to me as well. So there's obviously going to be some points changing there. We all say Bunny and Priest, all say AJ and Omos. So there's going to be a little bit of a change. And then obviously going into night 2, we've got, I think everyone's locked in with that. The only one will be once we know the full match for the tag team title match. So
we shall see, I guess, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be a good little competition. But yeah, I think... tonight as well, they've announced there's no match on the pre-show, is there, tonight? As far as what we know.
No.
Yeah, as far as what we know, there's no match on the pre-show now because they happened on SmackDown.
I agree, and I agree. It should be first thing is Mania. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pumped for it. And I think with 7 matches, everyone should get enough time tonight for them to do the 3-hour show they want to do. Yeah, I think that's where it needs to be. And I don't know like how we're looking at this. Are we looking at this as like a real audition, I guess, for the 2-night Manias going forward? And if it is successful, will they, move future Manias to 2 nights? I think they will personally. I think it's pretty much a no-brainer.
I think 2 3-hour shows is a lot more palatable for people than like one, because I think where they go with the 1-night show, I think it's a lot more. It's a lot harder because they go with the one-nighter, and they will then kind of cover it from like essentially a 3 or 4 hour show to go on to like 6-7 hours. They just love to go like really long with that.
The problem they got is that because that's how I feel. The problem they've got is that because of the lack of star power, over the last few years, they've had to obviously increase the number of matches, and by doing that, because now Mania's gone from basically, when you look at Manias in like the 20s, like the late 20s, they were typically 8 to 10 match cards, and they were huge. On those cards, there were huge matches featuring people like John Cena, Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, Undertaker. And that's even before you got to what was like a really stacked mid card. And then you have the fact that then they pushed it, basically when the network came along, to when we started having 14, 16 matches at WrestleMania, plus the pre-show, and then it's just a case of, well, they can't go back to where they were before a few years ago, because it's like, well, there'd be too many people left off the card. They probably couldn't shift the tickets without some of the part-timers basically being on. Because if they had 8 matches, it's like, well, one of them's definitely going to feature someone like a John Cena. The other one will feature like Goldberg, let's say. And then you probably have like another match as well, which will probably feature someone like Edge. And then you're going to be using obviously Orton, Drew, Lashley, and that's like 3 or 4 matches, and plus the women. So I think the problem they've got is that it's either a case of do 2 nights or cut the matches, and they can't cut the matches. And people, I think they got in trouble with some fans, didn't they? For, I think, was it for 33 or 34, one of the two. For it ran fast.
Yeah, so WrestleMania 35. So what had happened was, where that, I think that ran for about 7 or 8 hours. The last train had apparently already left by the time like most of the people were actually going home. I mean, Scott, you probably will remember that WrestleMania 35. We were saying about with the whole debacle at the end of the night when people obviously couldn't get back because of how long the show ran, and it just seemed as though it was a little bit of a bit long, really, that one. So, but so anyway, I think. Go on, sorry, mate.
Sorry, I was just saying, you play it wise. We're saying like that, and you do. I'm a big fan of City Mapper, first of all. I don't mind plugging those boys for free because they're good. But yeah, you just like, and again, I was lucky because I'd been there for 29, so I knew it was going to be mad when we got out of there. That you need to get back. But I've seen horror stories for the people.
How long did 29 go though? Like, was that
not? I don't think it was as long. Even though like Rock was on it and Lesnar, you know what I mean? It's a big show. But obviously since then, I think 32, again, when me and Tom did that one the other day, looking back at 32, that's the first one where I think everyone was like, this is no need for this to be a song. Like, I love a pre-show. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to watch the pre-show, whether that's online or whether that's in person. You don't have to watch it. But the 7-hour total show, 8-hour total show, it was starting to become, it's just ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? It's just, like, there is such a thing as too much of a good thing, and it does get boring, So it's such a risk. I mean, don't get me wrong, that night was good because you had the Becky thing and fireworks, and it was all great. Like, and people wanted to see Becky win it. It weren't like the time when Roman won and no one wanted to see it compared to now, ironically. But people just wanted to leave. Like, I genuinely would have thought about leaving if I was there. Like, I was there for 32.
I think the awkward thing though as well is like I think they've got so many like championships and that they want to put everything on the show. And it's like, it's fine for you to have a 14 or 16 match card, but it means that you don't have to like, just don't put matches that are going like 20, 25, 30 minutes. Put matches that like, you know, have like the longest match of the night go 12, 15 minutes.
Roman and Triple H for 30 minutes. And don't get me wrong, Triple H, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Roman Reigns, absolute star. But 30 minutes of those two, it's not really the guys. Like Dan was mentioning today on Lady Smackdown, the NXT version. Cole and O'Reilly. Love both those guys. Excuse me, but I agreed with everything you said on that video earlier. And if you haven't watched it, guys, go watch it tomorrow because tonight is a busy night. I appreciate that. So what you were saying on that, you know, 40 minutes of those guys, it was a good match. Like, they did good stuff, but it's too long. It's 40 minutes. It's just like the same story, and I use your words there, Dan. Like, the same story could have been told in half the time, and I think that's exactly it.
But then the thing that I look at with that is, so you're promoting the event. So Takeover Stand and Deliver, you're promoting that as a 2-night event. You're promoting one night, this is your main event. Another night, this is your main event. If you're going on night one, you're in the main event, and they go, right, you've got 13 minutes. And then you're going to the ones on night two, your main event, and you've got 40 minutes. If you're on night one, you're going to be thinking, well, hang on. So what are you trying to say then, that we can't go 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Or
I do think, no, what you said again on your episode, to plug it again, is key, is that the first one was all about the USA Network and the second one was about Peacock. There were two very different nights. And I think on Mania it will be different. I think whoever's last on Mania will probably get the same both times this time round. But
it's a main roster show as well, though, isn't it? Like, I think the issue they kind of have is that back in the day, there was the limit, wasn't there? You bought pay-per-view times. You had 3 hours or 4 hours, whatever it was. And you could go over by like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. But as WCW found out, you know, on that famous occasion, if you push it too far, you will get the feed gets cut and your pay-per-view ends in black. In blackness, no matter where you are, who you are. The problem is now they've got the network, they've got the freedom. And don't get me wrong, I quite like this sometimes because I don't know about you guys, but when I watch a match on SmackDown or Raw, which is nowadays very rare, and if I'm watching it live, and I know that it's 10 to 4 over here by the time it's meant to finish, right? If I'm watching it live, at like 5 to 4, I know the finish is about to come because, the match is obviously going to end, isn't it? Because you know. But then obviously, if it's on pay-per-view or network special, however you want to jazz it up, it's like, well, you know, I know there's no limit to these now because with respect in the pandemic, they've had ones that went like barely 2.5 hours, haven't they? But then on the flip side, that they've had like manias that have gone, you know, 4, 5, 6 hours, you know, all in kind of thing. You know, so there is that kind of thing to it, I guess. But it's like they pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. And the thing is, though, SummerSlam, to be fair, is the one they fixed the most because SummerSlam a few years back, they were really dragging. And then I think 2019, they had a nice tight 8-match card where no match went, I think, more than like 15 minutes. And they got all the 8 matches done in the 3 hours. And you watched that and you were satisfied that even if the card wasn't, the SummerSlam wasn't the best, you were still like, well, okay, I was happy with that because everything moved on. Nothing stayed on your screen long enough for you to hate it enough, is what I felt. And last year's too, to be fair.
That's a good point. Nothing's like, that's a great, we should quote, that's a t-shirt, mate.
WWE slogan, I think. Nothing, it's not staying on your screen long enough, like, you know, for you to hate it. And so, and like, you know, AEW get with this too. Some of their matches go on far too long.
Yeah.
You're just like, it gets to the point where it's just unrealistic that, you know,
someone would kick out that many times. Yeah.
People kicking
out. I know Mania, Mania you get all the kickouts and stuff. I think that's what kind of got them in that. It is those, ironically, those Taker Michaels kind of matches were like, oh my gosh, he kicked out. But Taker Michaels at 25 and even 26, which weren't as good as the match, but it had stakes on the line, is not the same as Roman Reigns getting his crown against Triple H. Like, it's not the same.
Orton Edge last year as well.
They're Edge and Orton last year. And again, like, two guys I love, a match I was excited to see. but it didn't play out the way I don't think any of us wanted to see. Go back and watch our reviews of all that. We spoke about wrestling for a while.
The thing for us as well, it's harder being in the UK because, you know, as we've said on numerous occasions, we're watching these shows at like 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever it is. And have you really got an attention span to sit through a 45 minute match
Mate,
at that time of the morning?
When I listen to American podcasts that say, "Oh, when you're gonna get off?" Like, "Oh, mate, yeah, I finished at 11 last night." Are you joking? We didn't start at 11, mate. We're starting tonight at what, 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
You know, and now I'm getting up doing a Hangover pay-per-view tomorrow review. You know, so like we've gimmicked it up, brother. We're making something out of this now because for so many years, like you say, we've had to stay up late and just. Oh man, and it's a Sunday. No one's at work, man. Just start the pay-per-view daytime in America. Come on, like American football's on.
You know what? If it was on at a reasonable time, I'd be able to actually go to work Monday. I've had to book Monday off work.
I mean, thankfully I'm working late, so I mean I don't start till like 2-3 o'clock, something like that. So I get to sleep in. I don't get the hangover that Scott's gonna get.
Yeah, mate, I'm in a good mood now, but I don't know about tomorrow morning.
Yeah. And talking of like good moods and stuff, I'm gonna be going to walk the plank in a minute because I'm gonna skedaddle off skis.
And he just
we're gonna carry on the show, you know, guys. I don't know about Lucas. Lucas, do you need to stay? Do you need to go? What's going on? You good?
Yeah, good.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to keep going, and when Dan goes to walk the plank for a little bit, but he will be back, obviously, for tomorrow when we do the build-up. Oh, and obviously the review of night one. But Dan, it's been good, mate. Could you pass on your like outfits or the other guys? I'm going to look a right twat on my own.
There we go. Rob.
It looks like he said as well.
Yeah, can you just leave the camera on, mate?
Is that better?
Or Lucas, there we go. Stick your head up in the corner.
Over there, mate.
Yeah.
That way.
All right, Dan. Well, see you later, mate. You're having a little nap and then get up for Mania. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Because I'm getting old.
Do you need us to message you just in case you're not up?
Yeah. What if you don't wake up, mate?
I've got this little thing called
what was that?
My hat going over the camera like that to say bye.
All right.
But
I thought your laptop had a hoodie.
Yeah, no, I've got an alarm set, so I'll be all right.
All right, no worries.
Yeah, it's been a long day. Obviously, as you guys will know, I've been up early because I do later Smackdown early in the morning. So I've been up since around sort of.
Some would say early in the morning.
Early in the morning.
That's it.
Yeah. Obviously, no rum, but yeah. Anyway, guys, it's been real. Take care.
See you later, mate.
And don't. Try not to spoil anything. So yeah.
Well, you're going to be watching live anyways.
Yeah, true. All right. I will see you guys very soon.
See you later, mate.
Bye.
All right, now he's gone. We can have the real show.
Talk about the real WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, I think.
The real card.
Well, obviously, we've gone through all the matches, really, to be fair. So let's just talk about Mania buzz and hype and how exciting it is to have Mania back in I guess, somewhat of a normal way, though. What do you think is going to be the case as far as fans? Like, are they going to sit together? Like, are they going to... Like, I've seen some of the sheets online for, obviously, like, where you can buy tickets for and stuff. But the Super Bowl did it a certain way. How do you think WrestleMania is going to do it? Because that's going to be interesting to see.
Aren't they in pods or something, isn't it? They're in, like... Not inside.
It's an elimination chamber.
In the chamber? Like, who's coming out first? Did we get double points if we correct it right? Right.
They're sitting spaced out. They're sitting spaced out. And you can.
But how many though? Is there a limit? Yeah, is there a limit on how many tickets you can get?
I think it was sold in individuals, in 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. I think it was.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I think that there were definitely individual seats. The problem they had for some of them is that there were only some sections only had individual seats left.
Right.
And I know there's a big deal
thing,
about
man.
if you bought as a party, if you wanted to transfer it to someone, you had to all transfer it, and there's a big deal with that as well.
Oh,
so if you bought it with obviously your family, if you couldn't make it, that's fine. But if you would have to either sell sell the whole ticket together because you can't have someone else to come who's not in your bubble, whatever.
But this doesn't make sense because, all right, let's say us three were going to Mania, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't make it, but Dan could, right? But we're already in the same bubble, so what's the difference? They don't know the bubble until that point.
Well, I guess at the you give the name on the ticket, same way AEW, isn't it? You give the name.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yes, I mean, I'm sure they do ID to check that that's not what you're doing. But what I mean is, like, there's nothing to say that, like, we're telling if we booked it, right? We're going us three are in a bubble, right? And then you can't make it. For all they know, Dan lives with us as well. Say we all live together, right? Dan lives with us as well. He weren't going to go. Now you can't go, but Dan's going to go. So how could they tell the difference? Is what I mean. Like, not that. I mean, yeah. When you go there with a ticket, it's the wrong name, but still.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it would be
sense,
that. I think the thing is as well, I'm guessing they don't want people reselling them anyway, like even without COVID. But I think with COVID, obviously the problem is if people are going to resell them, then that's obviously problematic because obviously, I mean, I guess what would most likely happen is in that scenario, is if you were booked with a group and one person couldn't make it, you just have to be one less in your group, most likely.
Yeah, that's better. They're not going all together. You've brought up an interesting point though. I haven't thought a single minute about ticket touts in the past year. Man. What are they doing? Buy or sell tickets. What are they doing? You know? So that's either Asda trying to sell lettuce. I don't know.
It's interesting because before
buy or sell lettuce.
To be fair, there were a lot of measures that were being done in order to get these tickets. In order for to have some sort of safety with tickets anyway, and so there've been a lot of measures that have been done. Like Ed Sheeran was one of the first artists that said that his tickets were not resellable. The ticket was in your name and your card number that booked it, and you're in that only. He was not allowing people to come into his shows with resold tickets because obviously the secondary ticket sale market is sometimes not in the fans' best interest. Let's be real.
No, of course.
I mean, I went to NXT Takeover in London and. Like,
so did I, mate. We could have bumped into each other. How weird's that?
I was in the cheap seats though, and thing is, look, my friend who I got.
I sold some. Did you buy it on StubHub?
I think my friend did. Yeah, to be fair.
I sold some on there. You could have bought my tickets. Carry on with the story.
Maybe the story is that essentially he bought the tickets. He kind of did those things where he did that thing where he bought the tickets and was like, "Well, does anyone want to come?" And he told us the price. I'm like, okay, that's all right. And then we got there, and we didn't look into where the ticket seats were. Basically, he told me the price. It was about 2 weeks or so before the show. I was like, okay, let's just go. You know, it's only in Wembley anyway, so it's like one train for me. And we get there and we're in the cheap seats, and those tickets literally were like £30, but we bought them for like 70, 80, 90. I think it was like £90. I think we paid.
Oh, it wasn't me. I didn't make that much money.
But it's you know, like. It's one of those things, obviously, with the secondary ticket market. Like, there are lots of what we're seeing.
To be honest, as obvious as this sounds to say, but it's the price you pay for booking late. Like, I've always paid, like, if I was like, look, I can't, I don't really know if I want to go just yet. I'm fine with having to pay stupid prices the day before if I really want to go. That's on me. Do you know what I mean? For not budgeting and, you know what I mean? So, but, it could be a whole show in itself. I'm pretty good at getting cheap tickets, so if you want a hand. But that night, like I said, I basically what I did for that, I bought about 5 or 6 tickets for like some mates and that. And then I was like, oh, better seats have come up. So I literally just bought them as well. And I was like to my friends, do you want these better seats instead? I'm going to sell the others. I sold them all except for one, mate. So you could have had that one ticket if I knew you.
Yeah, bloody hell. Yeah, we said this the other day. Like,
I put it down to a £5 as well in the end.
We've known you guys like almost a year. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and we haven't met up, yeah.
We know Dan from before, but it's like we've bonded so well as a team. And yeah, it'd be great. Obviously, one day when we can, obviously revisit, shows.
Yeah.
Probably over
here.
About
the curtain there, boys. Like we've never met each other. Well, I've never met Lucas.
No, I've met you.
Yeah, we've met. But yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
But yeah, look, I think another thing. I went to see Russell Howard during the weird gap that we had. Between lockdowns. I went to see Russell Howard at the Platform Ground. And those tickets were on an app. And what I did about the app is that you could only unlock your ticket on the app, I think 2 hours before the show, and you could only unlock the actual barcode for the ticket, like when your location pinged that you was near the venue. So, for instance, like I couldn't, because the problem I had, I couldn't text the ticket link to anyone else because it was only on my phone.
Yeah.
And so obviously for resale, that's no good because what, I'm going to sell my phone with tickets? Like,
was it one of those ones as well that move? I don't know if you've ever got a National Express. I think they do it, but like there's like a moving graphic, so you can tell it's not a screenshot as well. Like some of them are really so clever. Right? Yeah,
there's quite a lot of stuff that's gone into this. You know, I guess now they probably had a year now to kind of think about how they can do things. But anyway, to bring back to obviously Mania, like the fans have to wear masks as well, which it's a bit annoying. It's an outdoor event, and it might obviously. And I've always the one weakness about stadiums is the fact that noise escapes. You know, much more easily. So I don't know whether them being in masks will also.
Yeah, definitely muffle it. And obviously, there's less of a many. I mean, to your point, like 70,000 at WrestleMania, sometimes certain manias don't sound that good because the noise escaping, the way it's built and stuff. Add the fact there's 50,000 less than usual, and add masks, it's not going to sound very good. But then, on the other hand, add the fact that we haven't heard fans for a year.
Yeah.
One person chanting "This is awesome" is gonna feel awesome.
I've got a solution. I've got a solution.
Go on.
Megaphones. Just stick megaphones by everyone's feet.
Give everyone a mic. Yeah,
exactly.
That's something they might have looked at. To be fair, I mean, maybe not megaphones, but
to be fair, do you remember that Channel 5 program when it was like the secrets behind pro wrestling? They did a magician one as well, and they were like, they put mics under the ring. You know, like they could just do that. You know, that's been in the industry for a while. Put some mics on the floor.
I mean, they could have mics per section, baby. Like
I genuinely think they're going to pump it in, though. I do think they're going to carry on with a Thunderdome.
Just stick a boom mic over the top, like as you're saying, instead of on the floor, stick it up so we can't see it out of the way, and then noise travels up anyway. So you know, a bit of heat.
I genuinely think they're going to carry on with a lot of the Thunderdome crap. To be honest, fake fans and stuff like that. I think they're in that now. I think, like I said on the preview and predictions, like I think we all know they've toyed with that before over the years. John Cena, Roman Reigns, they've pumped in a few. They pumped in a few cheers when there weren't cheers, and I do think going forward they're going to continue with some of that stuff, which is a shame because it takes away the spirit of what's actually going on at the show. You know.
Yeah, look, I think as well that what we'll be missing is obviously in Manias of past or in any events in past, to be fair, like when you get the groups or crowd all together, I guess, like if it, obviously with the distancing limitations, mean that there won't be those massive kind of groups. I always loved, you know, when the fans were divided on things, and someone who, to be fair, was very good at doing it was John Cena. And you'd get like a section of, you know, I don't know, a few hundred, let's say, who would be booing him, and another section of again a few hundred, who, you know, who
almost tribal, yeah.
And we've been missing that because I think the distancing and the masks, and I don't know. I think for a lot of people, remember this might be their first event out in a year. The first.
Oh yeah, 100%. I know things have been different in America compared to over here, but
because they were going to Digiland when they had 50,000 cases. we were queuing up outside Tesco.
With a traffic light system.
Yeah, with traffic light systems, and you know what I mean? We were queuing up at distance and outside Tesco, and an American would just living to Florida, living to Disneyland. You know, it's absolutely mad.
Was that I touched on earlier? Like I was supposed to go last year, getting into this whole pandemic thing, and 2 weeks before is when Trump at the time shut down like no travel and all that kind of stuff, and in the 2 weeks before that, I remember Dan sent me a link, but it was like one of those clickbaity. Stephanie McMahon says, you know, they'll do all they can sort of thing, and like it might get cancelled. And this was like maybe about 6 weeks before or 8 weeks before, and I was like, mate, that's clickbait. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not going to get cancelled. And then obviously things went mad, and it spread obviously like crazy. And then it was just so weird because at the exact same time, the fear was rising, but the kind of like bargain hunter in me was also rising, right? And I was like, I had these hotels booked because we were going to go on like a bit of a state trip, I'm of the opinion if you go all the way to America, you should see go to a few states because states to state flights are quite cheap, you know. So if you're paying all that money to get out there, see a few things surrounding that state or something like that. So we were going to do that, right? And then, so I'm booking up all these cheap hotels thinking, oh, mate, this is great. People don't want to travel. It's great. Then I'm thinking, but do you want to travel, Scott? And I was like, if I do go, and then as the time, because obviously the statistics at first, like not to get grim with it, but like the statistics at first, you're like, this many and this many people have it. Am I really likely to get it, right? And then it got closer and closer, and obviously we all remember, we've all lived this past year. It just doubled and doubled and doubled, and then by the time I think days before, like I was hoping they would cancel it. I was thinking, just cancel it so I can get my money back from hotels and wherever else, which all works out fine. Flights, however, you flight companies are cheeky. They literally said, like, we said to them, oh, we're, like straight up, everyone's being honest at the time, innit? It's like, oh, if you go bust, where's my money? And they literally said to us in a chat, like chat logs you can do, yeah, we got to look after ourselves. Wow. So like, here's your voucher. It lasts for a year. And I was like, mate, I don't think things are going to be better in a year. So, or that you're going to be here in a year. But obviously things have, they've extended them now, if anyone's worried. But yeah, basically, like what I'm getting at is that a lot of things were just chaos last year. Do you know what I mean? No one, I didn't want to be around people. Once it got closer to it, I was like, I don't want it to go ahead. I want them to make the decision for me. And do you remember they had that whole thing with a rumor, at least, that Florida and WWE were being like, do we cancel? Like, you do it first for insurance purposes and all that kind of thing. Yeah. And then whoever had to bite the bullet in the end. And then you think this year around, like, obviously they've got the reward tamper of like sticking with them, really. You know what I mean? Like, I think they've been like, look, last year weren't as good. And I like the way they've done that. I like the fact that they've moved Hollywood to the next year and stuff like that as well.
2 years
so
down the line.
So what's the next one? Texas, isn't it?
Texas, yeah. Because they know they're not getting to California for at least a year now. For big events. It's just certain. Obviously, the dates have been very different, hasn't it, towards the pandemic? And I remember looking around that time, like my gut fit, my initial thing, and this might sound really selfish and really kind of childish of me, but my original thing when obviously the pandemic kind of started was, they better not cancel WrestleMania. And then reaction after that was like, just that kind of like, we're not going to cancel. It's WWE, they're just not going to cancel.
Yeah.
Because
they did, to be fair.
WWE had cancelled WrestleMania, as in fully cancelled. Obviously, they cancelled the stadium part of it, as we know, and we're now going to get that hopefully tonight and tomorrow, and have a great kind of redemption. But I was just like, they're not going to cancel, because if they cancel WrestleMania, the only way they're cancelling it is literally if someone is. If a government official is outside a performance center, armed and saying you cannot cross this line, and even then, I think Vince would be like, "Let's get the ring up in a car park."
Yeah, and like a one match thing in it, they could get 4 people in to break the rules or something like that. Yeah, I thought they would have done the same.
I just think there's absolutely no way on this planet that Vince McMahon would be told that WrestleMania cancelled. He would literally deal with Raw being cancelled, SmackDown being cancelled. Like, they said to him, "You can't film television anymore because it's too dangerous." But he would not allow WrestleMania to get cancelled. And in some ways, it was the most WWE thing that they've ever done in some ways, to run WrestleMania still. And the thing as well for us, like, or for anyone to be fair, like WrestleMania 36 was at that time the only major event that took place for months. Obviously, football stopped, baseball stopped, everything stopped. And legitimately, in most people's diaries, everything we had got cancelled. Everything we knew about life, whether we work, whether it be whatever, it got cancelled. But we had that engagement still. WrestleMania. Yeah,
I mean, they bang on about it, like the whole, like, we put smiles on people's faces and we're here, and they did it on that first SmackDown, if you remember, like we touched on earlier. But genuinely, I remember saying at the time to my girlfriend, like, they say all this, it's all PR, but it's true. Like, I genuinely look back at that and be like, that felt so good. I remember going to the shop, all right, and we was living in a place with electric key, and I was like, we had to go buy electric, and it was sunny and it was weird. We had to stand outside the corner shop. We couldn't go in properly, and like went in there, bought our WrestleMania snacks, and then come home. Like, it sounds silly, but that's a joyous memory to me now. Like, looking back at this weird time where we all went, like, just wanted something. Like, tonight I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch WrestleMania, and they are gonna put on the show. Like, again, like, it's PR. They say this stuff. We all know. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can see through it. But at the same, like earlier, we were saying earlier with Charlotte. Sometimes both things can be true. It's a PR thing, but it genuinely was something that I think helped a lot of us as wrestling fans through that period. And it's so weird because looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, they shouldn't do Mania. It doesn't make any sense. How are they still doing Mania? And when they did it, I was like, oh, okay, but they, there's no point carrying on after this. It will shut down soon. And it didn't, to their credit, like I think they wanted to keep going with that longest weekly episodic TV show beating the Simpsons that they used to do, those Raw facts.
Yeah.
But I feel like credit where it's due. There might have been some dodgy things going on here and there. There might have been a few outbreaks and stuff like that, and that's neither here nor there. But the fact that they managed to never take a week off is it's quite something. It's impressive.
I think literally along with the news, they were at one point probably only that existed. I mean, the only regular thing that existed, everything stopped. Film production, all your TV shows, everything.
EastEnders had to be spaced out. You know what I mean?
What a shame.
Well, yeah, I remember when EastEnders. I'm a Corey guy. Corey went to like a couple.
You're like WCW over here, baby.
No, not really.
Mate, if I have to be anyone, it's EastEnders, mate. It's where I'm from.
Neither.
Well, because Corey's the number one watched soap in the country, so we're the WWE, I'm afraid.
Wait, am I WCW?
You're WWE EastEnders.
Wait, can I be the good years of WCW at least? Yeah. EastEnders had some good years. Let's put it there.
I think Anyway.
Anyone tuning in now? We're talking about EastEnders and Corey, by the way. But,
so what does that mean? I don't watch either. I'm either Brookside.
Not Emmerdale, bro. Brookside, that's ECW, mate. That's our business.
I don't know. I think we all had that thought, and like I remember thinking as well. Like one of my first thoughts was they'd do Mania, and then maybe that'll be it. But then it's like I've gone through this.
What
quite
about
a lot
Raw
in my head.
after Mania?
That's
the thing.
How would that look? Like how would that? If WWE was a stop, how would they restart? Like how would they?
I was a big fan of them actually stopping because I was like, you know what, let's keep everything at bay because everything's mad at the moment. But also, I was like, off season they always want. This could be it, as in the boys and the girls. Like this could be it. Let's just force it, give everyone a break. But instead, they went, no, we're going to carry on and we're gonna fire a lot of people. Which, by the way, me and Dan did a Release Mania card. There'll probably be more releases upcoming, so be excited for Released Mania 2, where we do a fantasy booking series of like who, what kind of show you could do out of all the talent they let go. So check that out on the main Rebellious Noise page if you haven't already. But weird points. What about you, Rob? Man, what's your memories of like WrestleMania being nearly cancelled and then not?
Well, I was gonna say. Vince, during a blizzard a couple years back, right, for Raw, they got Dean Ambrose to walk through and just showed previous things happening on the Raw and SmackDown before. Use it as a highlight show, and they used live moments of Dean Ambrose walking into the show, realizing that it was a blizzard and not happening, and walking out again. So if Vince is going to allow them to keep Raw going as a longest episodic show, then there was no way he was going to think, oh, Mania's not being cancelled.
Yeah, I mean, all they really had to do was have him in like at home. They could do him at home with Shane having a little bit of a match. Do you know what I mean? I think if he got that desperate, they would and then they'd show because remember the early pandemic stage, they did do clips. They annoyingly showed an Elimination Chamber and stuff like that, and the Rumble match real time. So and don't get me wrong, like everything was new for him then, but hey, little comment I want to shout out here: bring back Aleister Black. Do you remember that guy? Where's he gone?
He had an eye patch, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
From Raw Underground. Yeah.
Asking your question, memory of Mania would be, fiance, now wife. That was the very first WrestleMania she ever watched. Both nights.
Did she enjoy it? Like, because there was no fans?
She's been watching it ever since.
Mate, you got a good grip.
Well, I'll tell you what, though.
What have you got against her?
She didn't like. I think we both had this issue with because there was no fans, there was no pumped in noise. There was a lot, especially with the female matches. There was more screaming, and there were just
the old tennis match thing we talked about before.
They were louder, and it was just too much more screaming. I couldn't hear the the commentary, and then we had the Edge and Randy Orton match, and there was no commentary. And it was, I just don't think they had their bearings for what to do and how to control it. But I think since the Thunderdome happened, it's come on leaps and bounds, and I'm interested to see how it's going to be with fans. I know you've both of you watched NXT. Do you think the fans were quite loud there? Do you think because it's Mania, they're going to be louder? Because NXT's got quite a good rep for being loud anyway.
Well, like we were saying before, I think the stadium thing and the masks is going to make it noise travel and unfortunately sound worse. But compared to what we've had before, and I think people, in some ways you go, oh, they're going to go mad. People are going to go mad. But I think if I went to a show, I'd be quite reserved at the moment because I'd still... Like, it's weird to go down Tesco's, like we said earlier. Do you know what I mean? Like, that stuff's still weird. So, I don't know. Again, they're in a different country, and obviously things are different there. Maybe they're more used to things by now. But so I really don't know. I think it's going to be noticeable that they're there, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near, obviously, even like a Raw would usually be, to be honest. I think it'd be like when football brought back fans for a little bit. You know, you saw about 1,000 people in stadiums. I think it's going to be a bit like that, where it's like, wow, I'm glad we've got something back. It's not what it used to be, but it's something. So I think it's going to be like that tonight.
Yeah, I think NXT had the benefit of being an indoor venue, and it's very compact, isn't it? In the CWC, it's very compact. I must admit, there's not much distancing going on there in NXT. I'm not too sure what regulations.
And were they actually fans though? Because I know they've been doing the whole NXT like recruit sort of thing as well, right? But I saw that girl, what's her name, Izzy, the one that was the do you remember that little girl that used to be with Bailey back in the day? Yeah. And she's obviously a bit grown up now, and she's got a podcast and stuff like that. Go check it out. She's fairly decent. She's doing all right herself these days. She was there. So I wasn't sure if it was like invited guests or if it was actual paid fans. Do you guys know?
I'm really not too sure. I don't want to quote too. I mean,
because a lot of the people in the audience look familiar, like they're just NXT guys and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't watch NXT weekly, but when I watch clips, I've noticed that there seems to be the same people there, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
and
But there's that guy in the crowd, and he was there. Well, I meant to mention last time we did an NXT thing, which was way back at In Your House, right? But there's that. Do you remember ZZ from Tough Enough? There's a guy in the front that is either ZZ or looks just like ZZ.
Is that the guy that wrestled alligators?
Yeah. Is it him or not? I don't know, because I tried to look it up at the time and there was no real answers. I was like, ZZ's in the audience. But I couldn't find anything about it. Since then, I should probably look it up by now. But yeah. Here we go. Did you see the severe thunderstorms they're having at the stadium right now? No way. Are they really? Are they really? Or is that one of your mythic predictions, mate? I see your name there. I didn't know that at all. No, that's that's a bit concerning.
That's a bit scary.
Yeah, I mean the Thunderdome, no, it works out, doesn't it? Here's Laura coming in with I'm worried WWE will overdo the fake riot noise. That's what we were saying earlier as well. It's a bit of a concern. I think they will. I think they're going to add the fake crowd noise as well. Especially now, if you want to get over Thunder, you're going to have to drown that out a bit. But, mate, of all years, every year WrestleMania is in the stadium, we worry about whether or not it's going to rain. Obviously, they've got a canopy over the top usually as well. But this year, of all years, to have a weather problem, I would feel really, really bad for WWE.
Yeah, I'm checking the forecast now. It is raining.
Wow.
It's set to rain all day and all night, today and tomorrow.
Wow.
If that was the UK, we'd just have a big old tarpaulin put over the top and get on with it.
There we go. So we've got Mythic predictions come back again. They've been told to take cover under the concourse. Wow. That must be bad. Like, if they're being told, that must be bad.
Madness.
Yeah, thanks for the update, mate. We haven't been on Twitter or anything like that because we've been live. So appreciate the update and anyone else sending your comments in. So, please continue with that. But, wow, okay, that's a new thing to talk about then, isn't it, boys? Like, Mania might not happen. Once again, Mother Nature has said, Vince, you going down, boy.
I mean, the upside, Seth Rollins won't have to wet his hair before he goes out.
He probably still will, though.
Do you know what baffles me? That wrestlers, they wet their hair before they go out, right, to get it nice and drenched, and then
you're gonna sweat.
Like, Yeah, they got all that sweat, but midway through the match, by the time they're finished, they look like. Do you remember when Fake Kane had that massive hairdo? Just looked really like bone dry.
Gallows.
Yeah. And and he was just bone dry. How does it get drier when they're sweating? I will never understand it.
The lights, mate.
Do you reckon?
Strong lights. It's got to be.
Well, yeah,
you've been on stage before, Rob. You've been on stage, right?
Yeah, a few times.
There you go.
I don't want to blow my own trumpet. You know?
You know the lights, mate. The Flying did the lights, mate. The Streets did a song about that.
Yeah. Good song.
So did The Weeknd as well, obviously.
Oh, whose theme is obviously whose song is the theme, right? Yeah, which is very piratey, Pirates of the Caribbean type, you know. So, but aren't we all these days? It's crap that a dad's gone. I'm the only pirate. What the heck? Me and Sting over here. We're the only pirates.
I'll tell you what, he's rocking that bandana a lot better than you are, though.
Hey, shut up, man. What do you mean? It's moving up a bit. My headphones are moving.
I've got something that just broke. So Tom Phillips, he's not going to be at WrestleMania tonight due to COVID-19 protocols. They haven't said what it is yet, but he's expected to be absent from WrestleMania 37 Night 1. Being replaced by Adnan Virk. I have no idea what that is.
Let's Google him.
Yeah, it's just broke that he's not going to be part of WrestleMania tonight.
Adnan Virk, Canadian sportscaster. Oh, I've seen this guy.
Yeah, so it's been reported that Tom Phillips would like to miss both nights of WrestleMania and Monday Night Raw.
So which show is he commentator for?
He's Raw.
He's Raw.
Yeah,
he's the main one, right? Him and
but Saxon, Samoa Joe, and Tom Phillips. So yeah, that's literally just broke about 40 minutes ago while I've been on air. Obviously, this must be a bit scary too.
Yeah, I mean the thing we're all talking like everything's like, oh wow, everything's back to normal in some way, but clearly no.
Everything ticked off. So the thunderstorms are expected to last all night, and tomorrow showers. But most of the rain, heavy rain, is meant to be gone. But tonight is, very bad, particularly between the hours of 5 p.m. and 8 p.m., which obviously 8 p.m. is when WrestleMania starts. So we don't know what condition anything would maybe be in by that point. But cross fingers, obviously, everyone stateside, everyone with your fan, a wrestler, a crew member, whatever it is, like, you know, that they are safe, obviously. Because that's obviously the main thing when it comes to these things. The weather can cause so many problems.
Freddie Mercury said it best: thunderbolts and lightning. Very frightening. It can be. It can be.
But yeah, I mean, wow, this WrestleMania, I swear, it's just getting.
Yeah.
You know, but look, hopefully, the weather sorts itself out.
You know what though? The rain up against that pirate ship, pretty cool.
Well, actually, look pretty cool.
It would look cool, but yeah, scary though. Yeah.
But and obviously Tom Phillips as well. Hopefully, I haven't said what it is, whether it's that he's contracted it or whether he's been involved with someone.
Either way, that
obviously has. Hopefully that he's okay. And it must suck for him, obviously, having to miss WrestleMania. Because anyone having to miss it, because obviously it is the first
They must
time.
be proper strict at the moment as well to be like, look, anyone could ruin the build. Like they've had the whole, like, Charlotte went around, obviously Lacey got pregnant, and like Becky's been gone for ages anyway. They've got injuries that pop up every now and then. They must have been really like, look, stay home, don't get COVID, you know. It must be real tough. I saw Rob have a little bit of a chuckle there, which I think was less about people getting electrocuted by the lightning and more about this comment, if I'm right.
Yeah, that comment
was, let's hope Titus doesn't slip down the ramp again. Let's hope not. Especially now that he's hosting, you know? So, Hall of Famer Titus O'Neil, by the way.
Yeah, well deserved for his Warrior, for the Warrior Award. It's an interesting one, this, because obviously the other guy who won, I literally forget his name, the guy who won the Warrior Award for 2021 class. These last two recipients have been more in the ilk of what?
Hello. Thanks for popping by.
You know, they've been more in the ilk of what the Warrior Award was meant to be. Or the old Warrior, he wanted to be for this kind of
behind the scenes,
you know, not in ring kind of stuff and outside of the company kind of stuff. And they hit them all. I really forget his name. The second guy, Rich.
The lawyer guy.
The lawyer guy.
I keep thinking Rich Swan. I'm like, that's definitely not the guy.
Rich Herring. Is it Rich
Herring?
Rich
That's
Herring.
it, yeah. I knew it was something to do with Dutch food. Yeah, that's the one.
Rich Herring. He's probably the closest to it because obviously he is fully back of house, and I guess there was a lot of people probably piping up thinking, "Who is he? Like, what's he done?"
Yeah, and the Warrior family seem to love him. You know what I mean? So they're part of this.
Yeah, you know,
those
like
messages.
I think obviously he's someone maybe was part of. Well, to be fair, he's a lawyer. He is probably very much involved with Warrior during his lifetime, as we know that he liked to cause a lot of problems, particularly around.
He said a few things,
particularly around SummerSlam and his alleged paychecks and stuff like that. So, yeah, like I think it's good. It's a good thing, and I don't know whether Titus O'Neil is done with wrestling as in the ring. And you know, he hasn't.
This is the weird thing because Titus is like obviously going in as not as a wrestler, you know, like he's part of the company, but it's not for his wrestling ability. But you know, we'll talk about that. I really like Titus O'Neil. The primetime players, mate, I love them. Like again, I wish I had it up on here, but I've shown it in other videos before. But when I went to Raw after Mania 29, there's a picture of me, like my mate. I said the whole like buying tickets online, little cheeky backdoor ticket sort of thing. I'm a few that rose down from my mates, so they took the picture of me. I'm on my own. I'm there doing the old like I was a big primetime players fan, man. Like I loved them, and obviously there was those rumors about who was the team a few years ago. Everyone was like they were basically new primetime players, or was it the other way around?
No, what did they say? The PTP were the new new Crime Time.
Oh, new Crime Time, yeah.
Crime Time, yeah.
That was it, yeah. I mean, no offense, apart from them both being black.
Yeah, I think that's
being basically small.
No, there was someone else. It was like the gimmick was like because Darren Young even said about it. It was like the new version of us. Who was it? Anyone in the comments let us know. But yeah, we've got some more comments here as well. New to the channel, thank you very much for joining in, mate. Please subscribe. We've got a lot more coming. We've done a lot of stuff recently on this channel. We are brand new. If you don't know who we are, we're Rebellious Noise. We've come over from the main channel to branch off into a sister channel of the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. And basically, we interviewed, Lucas interviewed Mark Andrews recently. So if you're a fan of NXT UK, check that out. And we've got a few more comments here. Let's get on to Brian Alvarez. Apparently said WrestleMania is on hold. No way. Boys, I think we're going to be the new Mania. I think Mania's going to shut down and we're going to do a live stream. Me and the pirate, who doesn't work.
Yeah, he has.
Does he work now?
I don't know. We could give it a little go. As far as the channel, it looks very good. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. Once again, please subscribe and check out more of our content. Right, everyone's back to their seats, apparently. He'll put the comment up there. Thank you very much, mate, for the update. Very weird. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of this, right? But why are we going to do this, though? Because we ain't predicting no more.
Is Mythic there? Because they seem to have a lot. Of information. I mean, if they are, please be careful.
Yes, anyone else that is there watching.
Well, yeah, I mean, Brian Alvarez has just tweeted that 3 minutes ago. You know, saying that it's on
Mythic's on the ball, mate. You're getting there quick.
But the lightning getting closer. Yeah, look, I mean, we shall see, obviously, as the next kind of couple of hours goes.
Yeah, I mean, we've just spent 2 hours doing predictions that might not even happen.
Well, again,
Twitter sources. Thanks for clearing it up. So you're not there, so stay safe wherever you are. Where are you guys in the world? Let us know as well. We'd like to know that. That'd be cool.
So we're going to do my pizza.
You're getting a pizza? Oh,
I'm ordering it. I'm getting Meat Feast. I'm not going to brand because we get paid for it. But,
don't say the brand because they're not paying us. But give me a hint. What brand? Is it a top 3 brand? Is it one of the top boys?
Yeah, it's But if you stack them up and knock them over, is that enough?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Good work.
Okay. You know what? I like. At the top 3, they're decent. You know who's the worst? I'll say this. No, they might want to pay us one day. No, I don't care. My pizza's too high. Pizza Hut, you suck.
They're the best.
Oh, Lucas, I'm kicking you out, mate.
It's the ECW of the
driest sauce. They're gonna driest sauce.
Oh, they're the best. They're a bit, well, I don't like the one he said.
Me?
Really?
Yeah, don't like the
Really?
one he said.
What about the other one with the garlic sauce? Everyone only knows the other one for the garlic sauce, right? You know, they go good garlic sauce.
PJ's all right.
Okay, we're gonna stab this pirate, but I don't know why. I just want to do it because Rob's brought it back up. What's the stakes though? Why are we gonna do that?
I don't know.
If I stab it, Dan loses a point. Yeah.
Go for it.
Just do it again without Dan, but put his colour in it, and whoever pops it loses the point in their predictions.
Every time it doesn't pop up, Dan loses a point.
That's what you get for napping and not going hard like we do all day and night. Yeah. Okay. Did they even make it to Mania, by the way? What were they called? Dash and Dawson. Did they even get a Mania fader?
Didn't they face Ryder and Hawkins?
Is that who they beat? I was there for that, maybe.
Yeah,
Oh wait, was that when Ryder and Hawkins won?
Won the tag titles?
Yeah.
Mate, that was such a moment that I remember the moment more than the match. I didn't know they faced them.
Well, this is the thing. WWE is about moments. This is the thing. WrestleMania is about moments. But the problem is that those moments don't always mean anything. Because again, you know, Hawkins and Ryder had that moment, and then I believe I remember Zack Ryder, he tweeted or something about 2 weeks later because they had moved on the tag feud to someone else, but weren't booking them. And Zack Ryder tweeted saying that we are the Raw Tag Team Champions.
It's like when he won the IC title, though, isn't it? He lost it the next night.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the moment stands out, to be fair, but that was so cool as well because what's his name? Hawkins had lost all those matches on the way up to it, hadn't he? So and to do it in sort of New York as they did, what a great moment. All right, we'll think about what the stakes are going to be for this and why we're going to do this, but we won't rush it. Then it might not work again, to be fair, but I want wait. Is Mania happening? So how long are we away? What? It's 11 o'clock here in the UK. Mania starts at
2 hours away.
That's enough time for a storm to pass. Then again, American storms are a bit different 2 hours over here, aren't they? So,
yeah, we're B-Tech storms. We don't get them that well.
Brian Alvarez just tweeted, "It was so nice out a few hours ago that talent was shooting vignettes on the beach."
Wow.
Yeah,
saying that though, like global warming and stuff, you know what I mean? Like the other day, we had a bit of a mini heat wave for what was March at the time. And then the next day it was snowing, wasn't it? So
but it snowed for like 10 minutes.
This past week.
Yeah, but it's still the fact it snowed, mate. The world's clearly got something going on with it. All right, what you a denier over it? You can tell me the earth's flat as well, are you?
Do you know what? Speaking of snow,
no,
I remember.
Don't do it. Oh, okay.
I remember when I first come on the Talk and Beats podcast. If you've never heard it, go and subscribe to it now and listen to it because it's one of the best podcasts. Not that I'm on it, but you know, I've been on it, but it's so good. It's easy listening. But the first time that I come on a podcast with you, it snowed and we watched Die Hard 2.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? And it snowed for like 10 minutes. And then you were like, oh, it's snowing.
Right, it's exciting.
It disappeared.
Yeah, I thought it'd be some sort of Christmas link with Die Hard there, but it didn't really work out.
No.
We've got an update from Mythic Predictions. Another reason to have WrestleMania in the UK. I'll make you right there, mate.
Yes,
I assume by you saying that, unless you're just being nice to us, boys, you might be from the UK as well. So let us know, mate, if you are. But yeah, should we talk about that? Well, here's the thing. Not like I have a scoop, but the other day on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling Twitter feed, RN Pro Wrestling, check it out. I was doing a bit of time on there, like I'm in prison, doing a bit of bird. Yeah, I was doing a bit of time on there talking about how it's more doable these days because the world is so global. We're so close together. You've got these, remember the Australia show they did a few years ago, the Saudi shows and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be live. Like, and even if it is, the access that we have to everyone in the world, like again, if we did it British time, right? We did it here at 7 o'clock in the States, depending on what time of year it is and where you are in the States. It could probably be about 6. No, sorry, it'd be the other way around. Yeah, no, it'd be about midday, about midday, 1 o'clock. if you can't take midday 1 o'clock for WrestleMania, then you ain't a real wrestling fan like us having to stay up late. But yeah, seriously, like why? How could they not watch it at 1 o'clock? How could they not, like 1 in the afternoon? Why would that be a problem? 11 in the morning, why would that be a problem, mate?
They
Like when again, going back to the Australia thing, when it was live on the network, I think we got it at like 9 in the morning. I was like, wicked! I get to get up and watch a pay-per-view rather than watch it at night. So
I think they moaned. Do you remember when it went to Saudi the first time? And I think we got it around about 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, that's same sort of thing.
And they were moaning about that. I think for them, it was midday. I may be wrong. I don't know the time zones.
Yeah,
I haven't got a Scooby. But yeah, they were whinging about that. And I'm thinking, but you get to watch wrestling and then go about your day. We have to, as you said, go stay up late. Or Dan, gone to nap.
I'm having 2 dinners. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tell me about it.
Spaghetti on toast earlier. Nice little easy meal. Spaghetti on toast.
Wait, spaghetti bolognese or just like spaghetti?
No, just little sketty in it, like little in tomato sauce, like simple thing in it. Like don't want to kill the carbs.
Bit of sketty in it.
I don't care, man. Like we are who we are, innit? A bit of sketty on toast, and then later on it's going to be pizza, burgers, and chips and all that. We're going wild, so. Yeah. Oh, Scarborough. I've never been to Scarborough. Have any of you boys been to Scarborough?
No, never been to
Mate,
Scarborough.
I'm glad you're from the UK. That's nice to have another Brit here. Wherever you're from in the world, guys, anyone watching, let us know. But Scarborough, could you imagine, and I don't want to say this because I don't want Americans to say this the wrong way, but imagine how they'd say that. Who could do your best American saying Scarborough impression? It'd be Scarborough, right?
Scarborough.
Emphasize the R. Scarborough.
Yeah,
Scarborough.
Scarborough.
No, I want to be Irish then. I'm not sure what I've done wrong.
Like when they say Worcester sauce, isn't it? Like Worcestershire. Leicester Square. Yeah. Sorry guys. We appreciate everyone from all over the world. If you're American.
But I mean, back to the question at hand, though, or the topic at hand in terms of WrestleMania UK. Like, I don't think they'll do it. Like, I think it's probably a pipe dream for us in the UK, I guess, to have hosted it. Don't get me wrong, we've got the capacity.
I think at the moment, maybe in like 10 years' time, I think we could we 100% could have a SummerSlam.
I can see them doing a B pay-per-view or a SummerSlam. The only thing I think they'll push them to do a SummerSlam, to be fair, is if AEW was to run an event at Fulham Football Club, because they've said that's what they want to do. Yeah. When they are able to do
so what? Next year will be, let's do the maths, 30 years since '92.
Yeah.
Would that not be a perfect opportunity to do SummerSlam?
Yeah, potentially, but I think they'll be forced into it. I think the problem they're going to have is that they're never going to do anything to upset their core audience. And their core audience is in America, who are conditioned to watching pay-per-view events at 7, 8 p.m. that kind of time, and they're just never going to shift from it. They do the one-off events.
It's a big audience as well,
Yeah, they do the one-off events, the network specials, all that kind of stuff, and tours. That's fine, but
why have they not brought back like Insurrection and Rebellion as pay-per-view, as like those early years of the network where they were doing like the Australian shows, the Saudi shows. You can say what you want about the Saudi shows, but as far as like almost like a C pay-per-view, that's what Insurrection and Rebellion used to be. Nothing ever happened on those shows except for the time Bulldog won the hardcore title, I think. So I'd like to see shows like that back. They can be like boring at times where you're like, oh, nothing's going to change. But look at the Saudi shows. Sometimes decent things happened on those shows, to be fair. So I'd like to get Insurrection or Rebellion or one of those kind of shows back.
I would, but I guess obviously that the trade-off with that was us getting Raw and SmackDown for the tours, and us getting it live in the UK, which obviously was a big deal. Like for people who might watch this that are a bit younger, like we used to get Raw on a Friday night. Yes, we used to get Raw on a Friday night.
Yeah, on Sky One.
4 days,
mate. No, Sky One did SmackDown in the mornings on Saturday morning, edited version of SmackDown. I remember when I was a kid, going into school and then like having IT lessons and going WWE.com, and on like a Tuesday, telling my mates, "This is." Do you specifically remember when it was? Deborah was made The Rock's manager for one night, right?
Right.
And it was on a random Raw. I remember going on WWE.com, seeing that and being like, huh? Like what? Like, because that's a weird storyline anyway. But obviously, yeah, Raw wasn't going to happen for 4 more days. So what are you talking about? It was so weird that we used to have to, like, you could, that's what I mean about how they could do like a big show here now, because the world's changed so much. Back then you could get away with that. There is no way, even 1 day delay. They couldn't show Raw on a Tuesday here. Not a chance.
No.
Like Game of Thrones, when Game of Thrones was big, Game of Thrones was on almost live. Do you know what I mean? Like, we got to watch it here when the Americans saw it as well, because, and obviously they replayed it at a sensible time for those that couldn't stay up late as well, like 9 o'clock or whatever it was the next night. But like, they couldn't not show Game of Thrones when it was on, because everyone was going to talk about it, because you go on Twitter and you see it. And I think it's the same for WWE now. That's why I think it is more likely that they could do it. But I'm with you, Lucas, in the fact that they probably won't.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you say that. Do you know, there was, I think I may have mentioned it before. Do you remember when WCW used to be on Channel 5?
Oh, with the Batman stuff.
Yeah. And the Kapows and all that, when they got hit by chairs.
Yeah.
There was a match that I see. It was Jeff Jarrett, I think, versus Chris Benoit or something like that, in a ladder match.
Who?
And I said Jeff Jarrett.
double J, double E.
Yeah. And
I believe what we're talking about.
It was only when I watched back something on the on the network that they had pulled that match from a pay-per-view and put it on the WCW show. It wasn't, the show they done wasn't a show for the UK. It was bits of the show that had happened in that week, and they just put it together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So all this time I was thinking, oh wow, like I got to watch and catch up, and I never did. Like, it was all pre-taped and then just sent to the UK and bundled together.
Yeah, that stuff we used to get on Worldwide was crazy. Like, I remember what a Friday night that used to be.
Yeah, that used to be
Top
great.
of the Pops, bit of Ground Force, and then WCW Worldwide.
Or did you have the
bit of
Simpsons
Tommy and
and
Charlie
Fresh Prince?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Great times, man.
Those were the days.
Even Royal Rumble was Channel 4, wasn't it? They used to show WWE pay-per-views on Channel 4.
Yeah,
and
they
had
had a
adverts in
couple
it.
of them, didn't they?
Yeah. They used to have that weird graphic of the Big Show with long hair in the ponytail. I remember some weird stuff, but yeah.
I've got some more in about the weather as well. That's what I was just checking. They've just told everyone to go under covers at the moment, and they have apparently being told they might need to look at cancelling the event. So we shall see. It's getting really serious.
I'm a pirate. I'm dressed as a pirate.
I just ordered my pizza.
They're waiting for the Florida weather office base to make an announcement on it, but it's looking like, we don't know.
That is crazy.
Just stick some tarp over the top. Just
again, it'll be fine. I know America gets weather like we don't get weather. Don't get me wrong, but I don't remember this ever happening before. Them ever like nearly. I mean,
sadly, Florida is just
one of those places,
isn't it, where it can be, this weather can happen. It's a bit like Spain, like in Europe, for like European kind of people. Like when we go on holiday in Spain, like it is that chance of you could get 30, 35 degree weather. But I've been to Spain and it shut it down for about an hour, 2 hours, but proper heavy rain. Like, I couldn't believe it. And then it was fine. Like, an hour or two later. And I guess this might be what it is. But we're getting awfully close.
I'll tell you what, though. Vince McMahon must be licking his chops right now, because WWE umbrellas going forward.
Okay, what do you do then, boys? What do you do? I mean, like, we've got down the bottom there. Tomorrow night, too, we're going to do a pre-show, a little build-up again. So please join us again. If you join us tonight, thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all those that have subscribed and that are new. But tomorrow, we should be coming back talking about night 2. Are we going to be talking about night 1? What are they going to do? Are they going to... Surely the only solution is do it all tomorrow. All of it. If they can, don't get me wrong. Do they do the whole thing tomorrow, or do they try and split Mania Night 2 into Monday and then push back Raw and then all that hassle there? Surely they just do it.
Then they get what they want. They get what they want all along. WrestleMania Raw and WrestleMania NXT. There we go. The whole bloody 10 days of WrestleMania.
Okay, Steph's tweet is it starts at 8 p.m. Is that the regular time?
This is proper on my heart.
This is scary, isn't it?
I've never seen Lucas look so pale before.
Oh, mate, he's getting paid back. One WWE storyline that's finally going to pay itself back. Yeah.
Do you know what hasn't paid off yet? Why that pinfall happened on NXT.
NXT, yeah, we'll find out eventually, but we never did we?
Give it 15 years, guys. 15 years.
Coming back
we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, Io's out in the loop of NXT title, so she could come show up. And Rhea, maybe they could just redo that match eventually, you know?
Yeah.
So if it's got the same finish. I'm not
11 minutes ago, though.
Mate,
that
this
Mystic
is so
thing,
weird.
that was 11 minutes ago when that was tweeted by Stephanie. And it was 6 minutes ago, approximately, when the announcement was made. So, yeah, I don't know. Look, we're hoping it takes place. Like I said, we've got our predictions for it locked in. We had also several videos on this channel. Don't forget, if you are watching for the first time, like, share, subscribe. Obviously, we do regular of these for every WWE main roster events. Obviously, all the ones coming up, Money in the Bank, Backlash, SummerSlam, if we can get there.
Yeah,
You know,
depending on the weather.
I'm just checking now. I've seen a tweet saying that no, I don't care about your privacy thing. Sorry, guys. Cooking think is coming up. Just been told to evacuate our seats due to the weather. That was tweeted at 10:17.
But that might be the taking cover thing, though, right?
Maybe. And it says WrestleMania, we have to go back inside the stadium, severe weather. They're two things that literally just popped up from.
But that's the thing. If an American's saying it's severe, like it's severe. Do you know what I mean? You know what? That's what we're going to do this about, right? Here's the question at the bottom. Will WrestleMania actually happen? Right. Will it happen? We're going to do a yes or no, right? WrestleMania. Will it happen? First one's going to be yes. Right. WrestleMania, yes. WrestleMania won't happen.
No.
WrestleMania will happen tonight.
Lucas is getting paler.
WrestleMania won't. WrestleMania's not going to happen, guys.
What have you done?
Guys, I'm sorry.
He said it. WrestleMania.
Oh no!
The one time you get it to work.
No. If it don't happen tonight, people are going to blame me. Oh no! I genuinely am upset. Oh, what'd you do that for? What'd you do that for, mate? Oh, okay.
I blame the person sticking the swords in. To be fair.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
All right. Look. My pizza is on its way. Okay.
Yeah.
So if Mania doesn't happen, someone give me a Mania to watch so I can watch it while I'm eating my pizza.
Yeah.
You got through 1 to 37. Just tell me.
Should we live stream 17? Watch along.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
17 or 18. Yeah, 17, 18, or 19. 19
Yeah.
found
You know what? The thing about 18 and 19 is they lose a lot of shine because of 17. But you're right. 18 and 19 are very good. 20's pretty good as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
20
obviously, 20 is obviously the forgotten Mania, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Obviously, but it's a good Mania. I think those are the ones, personally, I feel, that have the most easy to rewatch stuff. Like, when you go too far back, you are obviously kind of skipping past a lot of the stuff. Then there's that awful period they have, I think, like, when the stars start to leave around like 26, 27 onwards, when you are getting to the stage of it is just a couple of matches you want to watch.
I think 26 to 29 are tough.
Yeah,
tough Manias, like 26. Because I remember being really excited because the whole Atlanta link, everyone thought WCW was going to have a link there. They were going to do some sort of like WCW Hall of Fame and stuff like that. But it didn't. And the only thing I remember from 26 at the moment, at least, at the top of my head, is HBK retiring. I don't remember anything else.
That was a great match, though.
Yeah, it was a great match.
It was a great match. Yeah, I remember the moment. Let's cap this off with some WrestleMania moment stuff. But I remember the moment that 3 count hit. I was with Tom, been on this channel and co-host Talking Beans, and we genuinely like the 3 hit, hug straight away, arms. We went into each other. We locked up, brother, and just was like, oh no, like it's over, like. I mean, obviously, Saudi reared its head in, but at the time, it was over for Shawn Michaels. It was, and it's things like that make you think, all right, Mania. You might not remember that Mania, but you remember that moment. I remember where I was. I remember who I was with. I remember exactly what happened, how I felt. It's things like that make you happy and excited to watch Mania. I mean, again, will we get to watch one tonight? I don't know.
I hope so. All right, let's
Okay, well, that's pretty much it, guys. I think we've run our course here. I mean, if the world changes, maybe, who knows, we'll be back. But at the moment, we are back tomorrow for a live stream on night 2. We're going to do the build-up show just like we've done tonight. Once again, guys, if you are new here, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. We are the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. I don't usually dress like a half.
No, he does. He does. He wears guidelines.
But Rob is always a luchador. Let's be honest. Rob is always the luchador, and it's been good. Thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully there will be a WrestleMania tonight. Please spread the word about the channel. Please subscribe again, once again, if you are new. We've got a lot of stuff. If you've got that, if WrestleMania gets delayed tonight, guys, and they put it on a few hours later, it's going to suck for us in the UK. But if you're staying up for it or you're from another country, then please check out our original predictions for the show. We've got a lot of content coming up on this channel in future, but we've got a lot of stuff on this past week as well that deserves a few views, if I should say so myself, including the interview that our man Lucas over here did with Mark Andrews. We've recently interviewed Doug Williams as well, British wrestling legend. Obviously, you remember him from his time in TNA with his British Invasion. And on our original channel, we've also interviewed Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre and Cesaro and the likes like that. Is that a phrase? Who knows? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have you guys got anything you want to say before we get out of it, other than you hope WrestleMania is going to go ahead, I assume? If
it doesn't, you're having points deducted for popping that pirate.
It ain't my fault, mate. Whose sword was it? What color was it?
I don't know. I'm going to have to watch back.
Right, we're going to have to do a little replay. But whoever's it was, they are losing points. I bet it's still me, innit?
I hope so.
All right.
I hope it's Dan.
Anyway. Yeah, I hope it's Dan. He's not here, is it? Yeah, take it off him. All right. Thank you very much, boys, for joining me. It's been good. It's been real, as they say. And please subscribe if you are new. And join us tomorrow. It's going to be a good one. Because maybe we'll be talking about night 1 again. Who knows? But join us tomorrow where we'll be talking more about WrestleMania.
Cool. So for now, guys.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.